Okay.
That's going in the podcast.
Good. Dude, it's so funny at these, the Heartwarming games, there's so fewer people, than the McAllister games used to be. And so there'd be like everybody in the stands and everybody's wanting to set away from the band, right? They were like, oh, God, the band over there, we're sitting over here. But then if the band doesn't play, every time there's a touchdown, people will start singing it. Or they'll start singing the fight song, you know what I mean? Because they're like, the band's not playing it or whatever. So I'm like, do you want them here or do you not want them here? You know what I mean? I don't hate the band, but I mean, I'm not mad if they don't play at touchdowns. I don't care. I'm good with it. But I'm kind of strange about that kind of stuff.
Well, last night at the McAllister game, they shut the bands down. Like, they stopped and walked over to the stands. The referee did. And we were watching on TV. We didn't go to the game. And they were like, what is the referee going to the stands for? And he, walks on the track on the opposite side and was like, for whatever reason, said, shut it down. Don't be playing during certain times of the game. Like, don't be playing when they're in the huddle.
Where people can't hear and all that.
Yeah, we're in the huddle. I guess don't be playing. So, yeah.
Well, people have weaponized the band for years.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm sure that's probably something along those lines. I don't know. It's a very hard, please don't hit the stand anymore.
I apologize for that. So,
we're back.
We're back. Been crying. My co-hostess. What is your new name, by the way? Since if you guys don't follow us on social media, and I don't know why you wouldn't, but if you don't, you would know, if you did, that my maybe co-hostess. I'm not real sure yet. We're going to get the story. Co-hostess. I started thinking, do I need to ask my wife if it's okay for me to keep podcasting if I have LJ was going to have a sex change, went to have a sex change, or his balls cut off. I don't know.
You could say that, or you could say a vasectomy, which is not even the same thing. It's whatever.
Okay. But I almost, it was bothering me going to sleep. I was like, man, because right now we got two men,
Sure.
On the I Don't Drink Coffee podcast. Everyone's like, oh, those two dudes they're shooting hot loads. Okay. No one's shooting blanks on this podcast. Right. And then I'm like, but that's not going to be the case.
Okay.
One of us is going to be shooting blanks.
Okay.
After tonight.
There's still loads, dog.
Because you said.
Well, they're unloaded, I guess you'd say.
Right. They're blanks, bruh. I mean, you could take them to a movie set. Pow, pow. Not Baldwin's movie set.
These loads might do you like the Baldwin guy did. You know what I mean? Because some things didn't go as planned in our little thing that I went to do. So let me preface a little bit, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, let's get it. No, you don't have to preface nothing, or you can preface it and then tell the story, right?
Well, okay. Well, let me give as I do, full details, right? Okay. So
let me say my part first.
Okay.
You had mentioned to us a while back, while playing online, we're playing Call of Duty, and you're like, oh, might get fixed, and of course I was like, and laughing.
A lot of people, it's strange how many people actually reacted that way when I started telling people I was thinking about doing. There were a lot of guys that were like, why would you do that?
Really?
Why would you do that? And then I would say 50-50, because half the time guys would say, oh yeah, I had it done years ago. It's fine. It's no big deal. And then other guys would go, why would you do that?
Well, for me, I'm giving you crap about it, but it's, I mean, you do you, right? I could not care.
Well, I'm just saying it was strange to see how many people were.
Because I don't have to deal with those.
Well, I've always thought if somebody wanted to get if somebody wanted to get a vasectomy, I always thought, okay. So there's a lot of kids in the world, so it should be fine,
right? So then all of a sudden we're playing online, like 4 nights ago, or whatever it was, and you said it's happening tomorrow.
Yep.
Like it's happening the next day at 1:30.
Yep.
And so, and you said, you know, something's going to happen. I already know something's going to happen. I'll have a good story for the podcast.
I knew things like this never go just like according to your plan. It's never just boring. Like, oh yeah, I went and had this done and I went off my life. It never happens. This is a perfect example of that. Because a few months ago, you know, my wife, Brandy,
made the decision for you.
Well, she's been having some reservations about her IUD that she has. So she's afraid that she's, you know, she doesn't want to have any problems.
Well, we don't
get it.
If you want to go into that, we can, but you don't have to.
Well, I mean, she hasn't had like problems. She's afraid she's going to. There's a lot of horror stories out there about them and all that stuff like that. So, and to keep her from having major surgery, you know, because everybody's like, well, get her tubes tied. Well, it's a big deal to kind of go in there and do that. You know, she has to be knocked out or whatever. So
it's a much smaller and easier.
Yeah, it's usually like
for the male.
Yeah, just a real quick in and out procedure, and all that was the way it was planned. Well, she brought it up. I said, for a while, I was like, no, hell no, not doing it. You know, and then whenever she's like, well, you know, it's easier for you than it is for me, blah blah. I'm like, okay. So I set it up, and everything's fine. You know, I mean, if there's a pretty big process. To anybody that doesn't know, you have to find out. They have to do like a kind of a psychological evaluation, you know, to say, are you sure you don't want to have any more kids? Yeah, I had to do a whole session. Had to go meet, talk to the guy that's going to be doing the work and tell him why I wanted to do it, you know, and all these things. And I'm, you know, my age and all that stuff. And I'm like, you know, I don't think I should.
So you had to drive over there just to tell them that you didn't want to.
Well, I had a consultation, yeah, you know, and you know, they just want to double check, you know.
Well, I don't want to say your age out loud because, you know,
46.
Oh God, damn.
46 years old. I'm 50 years old.
But you would think there's a window, like, you know, 18 maybe to, you know, 35. I don't know. That you maybe need to have that sit down with somebody. I don't know.
Well, I think
46 years old.
Well, there's a lot of people, dude. Somebody was talking about last night that Robert De Niro is still having kids. He's 70-something years old.
That was me that brought that up, but he's an exception to the rule, right? I
mean, but that's what I'm saying.
He's got millions of dollars.
Well, the older you get, the more chances you get of having problems with the child. You know what I mean? Like, it's just human beings aren't meant to have kids at 70 years old. You know what I mean? So. I mean, maybe they are. They still can, so maybe they are meant to. But the chance of something being wrong gets higher and higher and higher. Plus, I've had all the children. I've said this, you know, forever. I've had all the kids I want to have. I don't want to have any more. You know, Brandy doesn't want any more kids. You know, she was always very adamant about that. So there's no point. You know, I mean, we're just taking unnecessary chances. So get it all set up. Do my initial appointment. I know it's coming up. Told you guys online. And I show up on time, okay, for my appointment. Go in, everything's normal, but my blood pressure was a little bit high because I was nervous. To be honest with you, I got nervous right as I was going in. All of a sudden, you know. So I go in, and they're prepping, doing all the stuff. What I didn't know is they come in to give me the hospital gown, and they say, you can leave your T-shirt on, but all your bottoms need to come off. And that didn't bother me. When I was real young, that would have like tripped me out, you know, to be like, I mean, I had a gown on, but everybody, I guess I didn't realize there was going to be 4 people in there, you know, because there was the guy doing the procedure, a young female doctor, surgeon that was learning to do it because she's going to kind of take up the mantle. Evidently, this guy's the only one that does them for the Choctaws, like regionally. So he does like 3 a week or something like that. And 2 nurses were in there, or a nurse and an LPN. But anyway, so there's like 4 people, and this guy's normal nurse is not there that day. She took the day off for whatever reason. And so we get in there, and I start telling them immediately because I talk too much. You know, I can't wait to tell the story on the podcast, you know, blah, 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 blah. We've been joking about it for days and all this stuff. And so we get in there, and he says, okay, I've got to, I'm going to have to raise your gown up, and I've got to feel for the vas deferens, which is the tube that sperm travels down and mixes with the semen solution, you know, for you to be fertile or whatever. and he's got to find them. He said, I always like to find them and separate them before I make an incision so that I know where they're at and we're ready to go. And I was like, okay. So he goes to my left side first, and he's feeling, he got gloves on. Thank God. I checked. I watched him. I'm like, this dude trying to do this raw. You know what I'm saying? I don't think so. But anyway, he's got his gloves on, and he's feeling around, you know. And then he goes to my right side, and they flip my unit up and tape it down where it's out of the way, which was weird.
Flip your unit up. Okay.
Yeah. The unit was down here with the boys, you know what I'm saying? And they flip it up and tape it down.
One last time.
Yeah, the unit.
Because they were fixing to cut your balls off.
Well, you know. And he goes to the right side, and he's feeling. I'm laying there forever, dude. And I'm laying there like what I would imagine being at like a gynecological visit would be, because I'm sitting here with my hips splayed out. See, like this right here, like what I'm doing. But I'm laying very flat. Like they got me very flat on this table. And he's feeling around on my nuts, you know. And he keeps feeling it. And I'm like, okay. Well, okay, I shaved up before I went, right? So I'm all slick.
You're laying on your back.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm cleaned off. You know, I made sure I was ready to go because I don't want no dry shaving going on. I don't know if you ever seen how they dude, if you don't, they dry shave you, bro, with like a single blade, like a Bic razor, the cheapest, junkiest thing they can find, dude, and scratch it off you. You know what I'm saying? Like wear it off you instead of it cutting it. But anyway, so he's palpating around on my nutsack, on my scrotum. And he's like, well, I'm having a little bit of trouble finding it. And he keeps feeling and feeling. He goes, hang on a minute. He goes, I'm going to use just a little bit of lube so my fingers will slide over them just a little bit better. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is nice, dude.
No, he's talking about inside the sack.
No, he's on the outside still. We ain't even went to that part. No. He's got to find them first through the bag.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Because they're defined tubes, and he's feeling around. He felt the left one real quick. So he goes, I'm gonna get some lube, and so my fingers will slide easier because those rubber gloves or whatever the gloves that they wear, you know, they're towards skin. They grab just a little bit, you know. And he's trying to slide and find all this, and it was kind of pulling a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, it hurt a little bit, but I'm talking the entire time, trying to take the tension out of the room, so to speak. For myself, it calms me to talk, in case you can't tell. And so he gets the lube out, right? And he runs down across my sack with it. And for a split second, I thought, I hope I don't get a boner because this guy's rubbing me with lube on my balls. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
but your unit is taped up.
Yeah, and that would have been a bad deal. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because there ain't no tape going to hold this
Word.
unit down. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
If he's ready, he's ready. And, you know, and I'm like, distract yourself, you know.
Now, hang on a second. Are you telling me that you were worried about another man?
Well, let me put it to you like this. It doesn't matter whose hand is caressing your balls with lube, okay?
I would like to think it does.
The sensation is there. It doesn't matter who.
But
you know what I'm saying?
That's a hairy-lipped dude down there. He's got, he's got the same thing we do.
He didn't have any facial hair, though.
Okay.
You know, so, I mean, let me put it to you like this.
But he's probably got hair on his nipples.
He's a darker skinned guy.
Yeah.
You know, he's obviously native. I like native. He works in the health field. I like that. You know, the only thing different is he's the wrong gender.
Right.
You know.
And that's a pretty big.
But he's also got hands that had lube rubbing my balls. Okay. So the thought crossed my mind. I hope that my central nervous system doesn't feel this nice sensation, okay, and arise to the occasion. It didn't happen, but it crossed my mind.
It would have never crossed my mind. But that's just me. It would have never crossed my mind.
Well,
never.
But I'm honest with myself, you know. I tend to be very honest with myself about what might happen.
Well, it didn't happen, and I'm glad.
No, it didn't.
That's the main thing.
It didn't, and I'm very glad. Because there's 4 people sitting there they are absolutely trained on my junk. I'm talking about nobody's eyes deviated. You know what I'm saying? Like they're staring because they've got these towels, these paper things taped down all the way around, and my unit flipped up.
Did you ask them if that's ever happened?
No.
Okay.
No, there's a lot of ladies in there.
That's what I would have asked.
I didn't want to make anybody, you know.
I would have. to really take the tension out of the air. And now I wouldn't have been sexual about it, but I would have asked beforehand or while it was happening. I would have said, do you guys ever have anything?
I did. I asked him, well, when he's sitting there feeling around, I said, do you ever have, he goes, well, I'm having a little bit of trouble finding this one on your right side. And I said, is that a thing? Sometimes you have, do you run into that? He goes, well, he said, if I have somebody that's really obese, he said 300-400 pounds, something like that, sometimes their sack is more of a round, small package, I guess you'd say. I don't remember what word he used, but it was almost like they weren't really well divided. He said heavier people, sometimes their scrotum's not the same or something like that. That's what he said, I have a little bit of trouble then, but it's just a matter of moving things around. And he kept feeling, and this whole time, dude, he's talking, he's got kind of a weird puzzled look on his face. And I'm not paying a whole lot of attention to him because I'm trying to not be nervous. You know what I'm saying? Because of all the things on a man's body that he's going to have cut on, I would say his dick and balls are probably the least thing you want cut. You know what I mean? You can I'm saying that's probably the last thing that I'd want cut on if I had to have some things cut on, right?
Correct.
So I'm trying not to be nervous about it. And so he sits there for a little bit and he goes, I'm having a little bit of trouble, but I think I found it. He said, I think that's it right there. And so the female surgeon says, sir, if you don't mind, I'm new at this and I'm learning. Now she's a surgeon, dude. She's probably, I bet she's in her, she got to be in her 30s of somewhere. I'm guessing her mid 30s. And she said, do you mind if I palpate? Because I need to be able to find these too.
That's the word she used.
Yeah.
What's the definition of that?
Palpate. It's like a medical term for feeling around.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I'm familiar with it because when I did CNA stuff, you got to palpate for a vein, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I said, okay, yeah, go ahead. I'm already, you see what I got here. So, go ahead. So hey, I'll do anything for science. Okay. So she gets over there and she feels the left one. She goes, oh yeah. Okay. And he goes, I'm having some trouble, but I think I found this one on the right.
Can you feel this?
I think it's here. Yeah.
No, you have not been desensitized.
No, I feel every single bit of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Every little thing. I'll get to that in a second. So she comes and she's feeling of it and she's like, I don't really know. And he's like, well, I believe it's right here, and this time I got my hands on my chest like this. I tend to do that. It's like a defense mechanism or something where maybe I can, you know what I mean? If I got to, I can.
Right.
But anyway, so she's like, okay, all right. And he goes, I think I got it. So I think we're ready. He goes, okay, showtime. Right. That's what he said. I'm cool with this. And this guy's 60 something years old. Really nice guy. I'd met him in the consultation before, so I'd been around him. Nice guy. And, you put your trust in somebody, and this guy seems like the kind of person that's almost too serious. I mean, he's nice, but he's very focused, almost like.
Well, you would want him to be.
Right. And this guy's everything you would want him to be, I mean, and I'm trusting this guy because he seems to know what he's doing. And he says he's been doing it for years.
I'm guessing by the way he was acting a little bit, it'll throw you off a little bit.
Well, I thought this is my luck. They're having a hard time and nobody has a hard time. They sent me home with a bunch of paperwork explaining what the procedure was, even though everybody knows what it is. But it had pictures, of somebody's balls there. Not fake. There's a drawing of balls, but still. And the incision, pull out the tube, cut, all that stuff.
And this is the last guy that you want to be looking confused.
Right. And he's, like I said, he's an older fella. Looks like he's been there, done that. He has no nervousness about what he's doing. He's like it's going to be like this. You're going to see this. You're going to feel this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, okay. So he goes, okay, showtime. He goes, you're going to feel some cold as we put the iodine on the area we're going to be working on. And he said, I'm going to bathe it pretty good and it's going to be cold. I'm sorry. And I was like, okay, son, cold didn't cover it. I mean, it was so cold.
You thought they just froze them off.
It felt like somebody took like a bucket of ice water literally and just dumped it on my balls. You know what I mean? It ran down the crack of my ass. It ran everywhere, and it was cold. I went, I couldn't help it. You know what I mean? I sucked in a bunch of air because I was like, oh my God.
I don't know why I didn't think of this beforehand, but I've been wondering if there was a way for you to record all of this. Just set a camera up, not the actual, not your balls
I'm
in there.
sure if I would have wanted to, if I'd have brought something, you know, and Brandy wanted to come in there and watch, and they said we used to let people do that, but then the people that would come in with the people having the procedure done would bother them, like joking with them so much that it was a distraction. So they stopped letting people come back. And I can see why, because that's all she want to do is, oh boy, or whatever. And
okay, so it was cold.
Very cold. The coldest thing that's not frozen. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so they poured water on it?
No, it was iodine, bro.
So they just pour iodine and it rolls down the everything?
Everything.
Really?
It's not everywhere, dude.
They just like...
Well, I don't know if he may have had like a stick and just like kind of wiped it or whatever, but it felt like gallons, but it wasn't. You know what I mean? It was just cold. And he put something else on there, something else, and he goes, okay, you're going to feel a stick with some burning. And he starts giving me shot after shot after shot in the balls. Okay. In the bottom of my sack. And it hurt, but it was like, of course it hurt. But I mean, all I did was like, I felt myself, I clenched my butt cheeks because I felt myself rise up off the table. And I had my fingers locked over my chest and I started pulling against each other real hard like this, and it sucked. I mean, I know he gave me at least 3 or 4, I felt for sure before the stuff started kicking in, shots in the bottom of the nuts, right?
It's just in the sack?
Yeah.
Or it's into the...
No, hopefully just the sack. I mean, that's all we need dead. But here's the deal, dude, is he goes, all right, they're going to work on my right side because that's the one he's worried about. You know what I'm saying? He was immediately going to do that one. I said, what is this going to be, exploratory surgery, since we don't know for sure? I was joking, and he goes, well, I want to look in there and find out for sure what's going on. I was like, okay. So when he starts cutting, I feel it. I don't feel pressure, bro. I feel real pain. I'm talking about real pain. I said, that sucks is what I said real loud. And he goes, oh, hang on. You're going to feel a couple more sticks. Gives me some more shots in the nuts. Now listen, dude, I want you to hear me.
I try to talk you out of this.
I wanted to do is grab him by his green scrubs and go, you fucking idiot. I mean, it was almost at a point of this is over. Show's over, bitches. Get out of here.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll sling everybody against the wall. Everybody get the fuck out of here. I mean, because I felt him cut my nutsack. Dude, I'm talking about for real, dude. See, for real.
This is what I'm telling you, bruh. This is what I'm telling you.
For real, yeah. And then more shots in the nuts, right?
I don't know what I'm telling you, but this is what I'm telling you.
Well, and I'm not one of those people like I don't want to sit there and watch it. I know people that do. But I don't want to watch him do it. Okay, the way I get through painful stuff, like something like that, like when I had gallbladder stuff, it was real painful like that. And the way I do it is I try to not focus on the pain. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of those people that does well focusing on it hurting. I'm more of a let me try to put my head somewhere else.
Yeah, man. Maybe take some headphones.
Well,
some music.
You remember Trent was talking about that they gave him something to calm him down. They don't do that either. I didn't have nothing because they said they've had people like pass out.
Yeah.
And like they'd be standing in the line at pharmacy and,
Dang.
Yeah. So they don't do that no more.
So they finished and went to the pharmacy to get their meds and passed out.
Yeah, that's what he told me. Yeah. He said they're standing in line at the pharmacy and passed out.
I've passed out a few times in the doctor.
And I've never passed out in my life. I've never have. But anyway, so I felt him cut me and he gives me some more shots and, finally, all I can feel is the weight being moved around. I'm not saying I got a bag, the size of a basketball. I'm just saying I could feel him coming up off my legs, and he's working, and he's working, and he's working. I'm talking about he probably palpated on me for I'd say 10 minutes. And I'm not exaggerating.
Okay, we could probably come up with a different word. I'm getting tired of palpate.
Okay. Well, he felt around on my nuts.
Okay.
For probably 10 minutes before he ever started. So once he gets started, he makes an incision that I felt all the way. Okay. And he goes in there and he's trying to find my vas deferens. And
say that word.
Vas deferens.
Okay.
It's just it's the tube that your sperm goes down, but it takes longer to say that than it does vas deferens.
Well, when you called me on the phone and you said that about 5 times, I was like, dude.
Well, they say vas. You want me to just say vas? Because it sounds like vag to me.
No, but you could
I don't really like saying that.
When you were telling me on the phone, you could have been like, it's the tube. You could have explained what it was because I was like, what are you saying?
Well, I thought everybody knew what the vas deferens was. I didn't know, man.
No.
You don't know you don't know male anatomy at all? Nothing? You got all that running around your body? You don't know what it is?
I just know what I've got is larger than most.
Well, it works. I don't know. Well, okay. All right. Anyways, so he's probing around. He's in the incision, right? Thank God that the stuff kicked in. And I want to say it's a strange feeling because all my life, you know how this is as a guy, you can feel your balls. I mean, if you want to, if you sit here and think about it, you feel them in there. You feel them sitting there, wherever they're sitting. You know where they're at. Well, all of a sudden, I don't feel them no more. You know what I mean? Like I can feel them touching my legs like they normally do, but I don't feel them, So that was a weird feeling. I'm laying there this whole time, and I'm just kind of looking at the ceiling because I was talking and joking and all this stuff until I felt that cut on my nuts. I was not talking after that. This was more of a keep yourself under control. You know what I mean? And I'm not mad at this guy. I don't think it was something, obviously he didn't do it on purpose, but he obviously didn't know how much I felt either. But
you never did tell him?
No, I just said that sucks. Dude, I've never had a vasectomy before. You know what I mean? I don't know how long it takes. I don't know if it's supposed to hurt. It just depends on who you talk to, whether they say it ain't a big deal or, dude, it was tough. It depends on who you talk to. I've heard all those things.
Oh, you have?
I've talked to several people when I was talking about getting it done. You bring it up to somebody, you go, I'm thinking about getting a vasectomy, and they'll immediately say one of those things if they've had it done. Or the third option is the thing I said earlier. Why would you do that? It's those three things. So anyway, so he's feeling around in there. I can tell that he's doing something. And I can hear like ratcheting, click, 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 him doing shit. He's doing so. I thought he was cutting the tube, I'm laying there with my hands still like this, pulling against each other, My butt cheeks are getting real tired because I've had them clenched for minutes and minutes and minutes, and, and they're aching, by the way. And
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's a fact. Okay. Well, when you start feeling that, you start feeling everything your body's got going on. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I'm feeling every inch of my body, and so he's in there for, dude, it may not have been this long, but I bet it was 10 minutes. I bet you it was 10 minutes that he looked around and he said, I cannot find it. And this is after minutes, bro.
You're thinking the worst is over. They're about to sew you up. This is almost over.
We're going to go to the other side. You know what I mean? Because they make an incision on each side. So I'm thinking, surely we're and he goes, you're doing really well. He turned to me and he goes, you're doing really well. I'd be screaming by now, is what the doctor said to me. And I go, I've never had a vasectomy before, so I don't know what I'm battling against here. I'm trusting you guys is what I said. And he's like, well, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And I'm like, we got a hole in my ball bag. Okay. And you're trying to figure out what's going on. This is the wrong time, bruh. So, finally he says, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stitch you up. There's going to be a couple of stitches. And, I can't remember what he told me, but anyway, he did the stitching. And then he said, okay, these girls are going to clean you up and, I'll be back in a minute. I said, okay. Well, the young doctor that's in there, she stays in there and we're just talking. We were talking about the podcast. It was real loose and free and easy in the beginning. Well, now I'm more talking about, has anybody ever seen this before or anything like that, So, they get me cleaned up and they set me up in the deal and they said, don't stand up yet. We've had people pass out. I'm like, good God, what is all this passing out? But and my head did feel a little bit funny from laying flat, though. I mean, they had me flat as a board on this table, and I didn't feel like I was going to pass out, but they didn't want me to get up and get dressed and everything. So anyway, the lady goes, okay, we're going to give you about 5 minutes to kind of get, do you feel okay? And I said, yeah. She goes, well, I'm going to leave. I'm going to let you get up and put your clothes back on. The doctor's going to come back in and talk to you. I said, okay. So she walks out and I stand up to get my clothes. And I just turn around to look back at because it's not a bed. I mean, it's that bed thing that's in the doctor's office with the paper that comes out of the roll, or whatever. I looked down there and I thought, I must have shit on this bed. There's like a big reddish brown thing where my ass was. I was like, I shit on this table while they were working on me. I must have, it must have done something to my bowels. It's like a red stain, bro.
It was the iodine, right?
Yes. Finally, my mind goes, no, motherfucker, you would at least smell it, I would think, but that fear, dude, that I shit and they didn't tell me, it did cross my mind. That's real. Okay.
Okay.
And, so I go put my clothes on and I'm standing there and the nurse comes back in instead of the doctor. And I go, I'm not going to lie to you. I thought I crapped on that. You see that? And she looks down, like immediately, like stares down. And I said, I know it's the iodine, but I thought I crapped on the table. And she starts busting up laughing. And then she rips it off and pulls a new one down, and does all the things and sets it
I would have
down.
thought you would have done that.
Dude,
I don't like people clean up my mess.
I thought I shit on the thing, okay?
Yeah, so get rid of it.
My mind was racing, bro.
I'm trying not to laugh, if you can't tell. I'm trying not to ruin your story. But go ahead.
Well,
ruin? Did I say ruin? Did I say ruin?
Yeah,
ruin.
Yeah, you said it.
All right.
But anyway, so she leaves. She said, okay, well, I got to go get your paperwork. The doctor will be back in to talk to you here in a minute. I was like, all right, cool. So I got my stuff back on, right? Well, they put a jock strap on me. I forgot. I left that out. Whenever they got done, they put a jock strap on because they want to hold all this really still, right? And I thought, well, for fucking kill. You know what I mean? We didn't even do anything.
Okay, so you knew at this point that this surgery was not complete.
Yeah. I could tell we were done. You know what I mean? And he comes back in and he says, he goes, listen, and he's standing against the wall. And he's kind of looking down and he's rubbing his head. He's got hair. So he's like rubbing his head, kind of running his fingers through his hair. And he goes, listen, I'm not really sure what's going on. He said, I've been doing this since 1990 and I've never not found this tube. And I said, okay. And I said, well, what does that mean? And he goes, well, anatomically, maybe it's somewhere that I've not seen it before, or maybe you just have one. And I said, no, hold on a minute. He goes, well, I found what I thought was the tube. He said,
you can say it now.
Okay. He said, well, I thought it was. When I got in there, I found a bundle of nerves or a bundle of muscles, which expand and contract the scrotum. And I found a blood vessel that's the blood supply to your testicle. He said, I found all those things and I thought those were the tube, but it wasn't. I didn't find the tube. He said, I've never not found one unless there's not one there. And I said, have you ever seen somebody have only one? He said, one time, but the man only had one testicle. He lost one when he was young, so he only had one. And he said, I've seen somebody with 3 tubes, but I've never not found one in a healthy testicle.
Maybe when you clenched your butt cheeks, the tension broke it and it sucked back up in your body somewhere.
I don't know. He didn't say anything about a ruptured vas deferens. I don't know. I mean, I'd think there'd be remnants, maybe like some fire hose, sperm inside there or something like that. He didn't say anything.
Sir, can you quit clenching your butt cheeks because I need to find
dude, my butt cheeks ached for an hour.
Your pancakes.
After we were done.
Didn't you call them pancakes one time?
Yeah.
Flaps.
Yeah, they're like little slider buns. You know what I mean? There's not much there.
Hey, man, you and I used to do, when we worked out, we used to do a lot of thrusters.
Yeah, they didn't help.
Well, you stopped doing them.
Mine don't grow. I'm genetically deficient in that area. Period.
So okay.
So anyway, he tells me that, and he says I've never seen it, and he said something about I'm probably going to get a letter for it, and I'm guessing because he went to do a procedure that didn't get done, is what I'm guessing, and I said, okay. Well, evidently he went out and told Brandy. Brandy was in the waiting room. He went out and told her. I didn't know this. While I was getting dressed, he went out and told her all this stuff.
I would have asked if it was going to be a letter from like Guinness Book of World Records. If I mean, did I win something here? Is this worth money?
Yeah.
I mean, am I going to be a millionaire now? I mean, is this, am I like, are they going to, like, is some big, research institute going to be calling me and want to, do some, further research? How does this benefit me?
Right. Well, basically,
and it didn't benefit you at all.
It doesn't.
You got to keep your balls.
Well, and that was the thing about it is, he's very bewildered. This guy, you can tell, he's like consumed with it. And Brandy told me the same thing when he came out and told her. He said he at first walked up to her,
and she's probably thinking, "Of course."
Well, and yeah,
sure.
Well, and then he sits down across from her where he can see her, and he's just like she said he stared at the floor and was talking, and then he would think,
"Is my husband dead, sir?"
Well, no, I mean he was telling her this whole time.
Are you about to tell me that I died? That he died?
He called me to her. He called me a medical anomaly because he had never seen it before, right? And
that's what I'm saying.
He didn't say that to me, but he came back and he came back a third time, right? They did my blood pressure after the surgery, which it was lower after the surgery. My blood pressure was than when we started because I was nervous in the beginning and I had calmed down.
Well, you got to keep your balls.
I really can't explain it. Like I'm always that way. I always work myself up for something, and then whenever I'm in it, I'm like,
this wasn't so bad.
What's the problem?
Right.
What? I mean, the cut on my sack hurt. That sucked real bad.
Felt it.
But, oh yeah. Every bit of it, dude. Holy moly. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, and he comes back in the third time and he goes, look, there are options. He said, I'm going to refer you out to someone and see if they can find it to get it done. And in the moment, I'm back and forth like, I don't think I want to do this. I think this is my one and only shot. Getting a hole cut in the side of your ball bag for nothing. That pretty much seals the deal, because if I had unhealthy testicles, if we were trying to correct a problem, hey, we got to do what we got to do. Let's go back in there. Let's give somebody a chance to get it done. But everything's fine. I don't want to cause problems or damage. And he's already telling me things like, well, I was in there for a while, so I'm going to put you on antibiotics to make sure that you don't have any problems. So I'm taking antibiotics right now as we speak. And he said, the only other thing we can do is, he said, sometimes whenever I do hernia surgeries, there's some form of a canal in the corner of between your leg and your abdomen there that people get hernias in. And he said, look, that tube runs through that canal. And he said, we can open you up there and we can find it in there and do the vasectomy on that side there and do the left side normally and get it done. He's trying to get the vasectomy done in his mind. Well, all I'm thinking is, and I was like, I'd have to be put out, right? He goes, yeah, that'd be actual full surgery. And I'm like, okay. Well, in my head, I'm thinking, fuck no. Hell no. Fuck no. This is over, bro. You had your shot. You cut my nuts and didn't do anything. So we're done with this deal. So anyway, I'm really, I'm pretty indignant, not towards him, but just about the situation. This is it. I got a useless hole in the side of my nutsack now. Potential infection, lose a nut, die, all these things going through my head for nothing, And, but he came in 3 different times because he kept thinking about it. He'd go off and think and then come back and say, we could do this. That's how hard this dude was trying to get me going or whatever. And, so he gave me cold packs and they left the jock on me and I put everything else on and we left. Well, they tell you take it easy all weekend, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's if you get your tubes cut, but I didn't, all I got was a cut in the side of my sack. I should be fine. It's, I'm not going to go out and like do thrusters or anything like that, but I'm whatever. So we ride to, where'd we go? Oh, Walmart, the McAllister. And by the time we get there, I'm like,
dang, you drove from Tallahassee to McAllister?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
She wanted to get some stuff from McAllister.
Well, y'all moved from here.
But anyway.
Get your stuff in Wilburton, bro.
She wanted like some hair dye or something like that.
Get it in Wilburton. So, that's where you live.
Well, I don't know. Talk to her. I'm just riding.
And you just got cut on.
Well, and by the time I get up there, I'm thinking, because I haven't worn a jock since high school. Well, this thing is eating into me. They're real tight. Like not even on my junk. It's like on my waist and stuff. I'm like, God, I'm tired of this thing. So I said, I'm going to go in the bathroom in Walmart. I'm going to take this jock off, and I go in the bathroom, and it's a funny thing about you never really think about going to a public restroom and completely
stripping down
naked. I don't. Well, I don't know if you know this about Walmart bathrooms, but they're fucking disgusting. Okay? Toilet paper laying everywhere. There is some splattering on the fucking walls of God only knows what.
Right.
The floor looks like either somebody fed horses before they went in there and got mud, or they shit on the floor, or whatever that is. All this going on. And all I can think is I've got a hole in my ball bag that I'm supposed to keep ultra clean so I don't lose my nut. And I've picked the grossest place to change clothes known to mankind. All I can think is I'm going to get my leg hung in my sweats.
And you're going to fall down.
And my sack's going to hit something on the way down, and I'm going to get, a flesh-eating bacteria or some shit in my sack.
Dude, you could have came by my house. I wasn't there though. I was in Tulsa.
I mean,
you called me.
Well, it's a hard thing to describe though, because you say, well, I need to take this jock off.
You don't have to describe it. Say, I need to
wouldn't
use
let
your
me
bathroom.
come here and take a jock off me in here.
I would take it off of you if I needed to. If you wanted me to do that, I would do that for you.
Well, and hey, here's another thing about that is when I pull the jock off, there's a little bit of blood in the jock.
Mm-hmm. It's stuck to your ball bag.
And I thought that was shit. It was iodine, bro. The iodine keeps making me think it's shit.
You've had problems in the past. As you've told us on the podcast. So
I have, but none this time. But I'll just go ahead and.
So did you go ahead and change it in the bathroom?
Yeah, I swapped it
Dang.
out. But listen to this, dude. Okay, I've got this jock in my hand, right? And it crosses my mind to just go throw it in the trash. But I don't want to carry it around in the bathroom when there's people coming in and out constantly. So I put it in the pocket of my sweats, and walk around. Well, I'm thinking that jock is for when you've been cut on, and you've got all this trauma inside your sack. Well, it needs to stay still, right? And I'm thinking, I don't need that fucking shit. All they did was cut a hole in the side of it. Well, let me tell you how wrong I was. I tried walking around Walmart, and every time, and this is weird, every time I would take my left foot forward, it would pull my fucking sack right. It felt like right on that incision.
Oh.
So it puts a real big hitch in my giddy up getting around Walmart, because I'm like, fuck, every time I try to take a step with my left hand, and now I'm wishing I had the jock that's in my pocket on, because it was doing a pretty good job of keeping all that still. So come to find out, they were onto something with that jock,
So FYI, wear the jock.
Yeah, if you get the vasectomy, wear the jock. Just do it, And so anyway, we get home, and
by this time, you'd already talked to your wife, Brandy, about.
Oh yeah, we got in the
decision.
car, and she was in the know. The guy had told her all the stuff. But when we get in the car, I sat down and I said, look, you've been told he couldn't find it. I'm not doing it. This is not going to happen now. I'm not going to let somebody go do exploratory surgery on my nuts anymore. This is it, Because he also said he could cut the left side, and then we could come back and I could give him samples and see if I only have one. And I'm like, can I not do an MRI? Can you not look in there and like say, well, there's one and there's the other, or, oh, there's not one on that side. I mean, there's imaging that they can do that doesn't require people hacking into my nuts to see if there's a tube in there or not, But he didn't offer that, so I'm like, fuck the bullshit.
Didn't ask.
I did ask for the MRI. Yeah, I was
and they said no.
He goes, well, it's small enough. I don't know if we could tell if it was there or not. And I'm like, well, I can tell he's not want to do that. A surgeon wants to cut. A fucking hammer wants to nail nails. That whole game. And so I'm like, all right, I just give him the until we get out of the fucking deal. And then when we get in the car, I'm like, I'm not doing it.
And what did she say?
She's like, okay. She could say, I was very indignant. Like this was the answer. I don't give a fuck what, you better shoot me, because I just had somebody cut my balls with a scalpel and I could feel it. So what are you going to do to me at this point that's going to change my mind?
Did you Did you tell her that? I mean, I know you've told her that since, but when you got in the car, were you like, dude, I felt him cut my balls?
I told her. Yes. Yeah, dude, it sucked. And when you're not expecting to feel that, I can't believe I yelled that sucks. Because it did suck, but I want to go, I can feel that, motherfucker, is what I wanted to say, And in hindsight, I wouldn't have been out of place to say something like that.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe I'm too nice a guy, should I speak up for myself in a case where you can feel somebody cutting your nuts open?
I would say so.
I think I'd have been, that ain't out of bounds to go, hey, motherfucker, or something like that.
No, it's not out of bounds at all.
But anyway, yeah, so we got in the car and she agreed, and now it's just,
And this was about, what, 4 days ago? No, 3 days ago.
No, it was on Thursday, and today's Saturday.
Mm-hmm. So you're fresh. You still got...
I got 2 stitches in this side right here, dog.
Oh, damn. Would you care to show them?
If you want me to. I mean, it's...
No, I just want you to walk up to the camera and get like real close to it. Don't touch it. That's my phone, actually. I don't want your balls touching my phone. But for science...
come on, man.
It's crazy, man. So have you done any kind of research since then?
Yeah, and come to find out, if I do have only one, and it's possible, you can have fully functioning one testicle. So it's 0.6% of men only have one vas deferens.
Dang!
0.6%. Yeah, and I don't know that I don't have 2, but I mean, if I only have the left,
well, I don't
side,
think you do. I mean, if this guy who's been doing it since the 90s says you don't have it.
Well, and he, he couldn't say without absolute certainty, but he just couldn't find it. And he said, I've never not found one, so.
I'm going to say you don't have one.
I'm probably thinking I probably don't too. So I'm in that 0.6%, but they didn't offer to put me in the fucking medical books for it or nothing. Like, hey,
not yet.
Case study, bro.
Not until this airs.
Oh yeah, maybe to bring it back around.
Yeah, when this podcast airs, I think you're going to get some.
Well, I'm gonna.
Netflix may contact you. They may want to do some kind of movie or series or something.
Well, I would let them cut into my nutsack again, and they can look around in there for a price.
Well, I mean, of course it would be a price.
$20 is $20. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man.
It would take a hell of a lot more than $20.
I was going to say maybe 50.
Yeah.
Because just in case.
Yeah, I mean, I got car
you felt that thing again. Yeah, you got car payments.
But anyway, yeah, it was. So I went there to get a vasectomy / sex change and got nothing.
You got nothing, but
except for
some
a hole
pain
in my ball bag. Yeah. Yep. So it was. It goes. That's pretty much standard for the way things like that go for me. It can never just be normal. I can't just come up and go, yeah, I had a vasectomy. When Trent had his done, he's like, yeah, I got it done. And it was over. But no, not for me.
The only thing that was weird for him was having to give the samples.
Yeah.
I
was dreading that.
And he was, and that would have been what, the least.
Yeah.
If we go back on it now.
Yeah. I mean, now that I know what I know, I mean, the samples is the best part, Because it's pretty clear in the literature. It's clear that it says by masturbation, you have to supply samples. So
that's what it says.
Yeah, by masturbation, it says it clear. It's very clear in the literature.
I think probably because people are like, well, maybe I don't know. Well, we don't have to get into that.
Well, I'm sure they've
a religious type thing, for religious reasons.
I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of forms of birth control, for like any form, to Catholics is a sin, right? I mean, you're not supposed to do that no matter what, I believe.
I don't know.
So anyway, you got different things like that, but I thought, why couldn't you just bring them a sample, But then, you got that whole thing of, he brought a sample from somewhere else, or God only knows. I don't know. I don't know what I can only imagine what people come up with, but
yeah,
but anyway, I was dreading, before I had the thing done, I was dreading having to give samples because I was worried about performance anxiety because people are outside knowing what I'm doing in there. I mean, it's one thing to know, but it's another for them to know. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
and everybody being quiet outside.
Everybody got to assume, and I don't know. I was dreading that part of it. Don't have to worry about it now, but
no.
But it was,
because he said it was a bathroom in the hall.
Yeah, just a random bathroom anybody can go into. Thank God it was a single stall. It wasn't like Walmart where there's like 3 different people can be coming in.
Yeah, because that's what when he was telling the story, that's what I thought. I was picturing just a regular bathroom. I know it's in a hospital, so it's not going to be like a Walmart per se.
Right.
There's not going to be 20 people running in and out. But there might be one or two.
Well, yeah, and you would think that.
And then you just got to go pick a stall.
I mean, why wouldn't they have like a room set aside? You know what I mean? I mean, maybe some soft candlelight.
I'm not sure to say something else.
Like a plush,
soft something
like
else.
a sofa or something to sit on. Something comfortable. Maybe temperature controlled. I mean, they could even have you bring your own lubricant if you wanted. I mean, I'm sure they've got plenty in there, but I mean, that way you could get in there.
I don't remember if he said that they supplied that.
They did not. He said no.
Is that in the material?
No, but
you need to supply your own.
But Trent said that they didn't give him anything. They just gave him the sample thing and said, "There's the bathroom," And then everybody's in there looking at their watch, thinking, "I need to go get a sandwich," or which this guy would shoot his shot and come on back. And then I'm feeling performance anxiety and like, is this taking too long?
Right.
Does everybody take this long?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's too fast. Maybe they're going to make fun of me because they're like, this dude was in there like 3 seconds and he was back out. Oh my God.
Well, if you think you may be too fast, just sit there for a little bit.
Yeah. Take a little time.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, what would you say, I'm kind of digging in here, but I mean, what would you say was an adequate amount of time? I mean, not too much, not enough. I'm thinking 3-4 minutes. That's a long time. In the world of masturbation, 3-4 minutes, 5 minutes is a pretty long time. Yeah.
Really?
With no setup?
Well,
with no setup?
Yeah. If you're trying to get it done.
Yeah.
If
you're trying to get it done.
If I'm working there and I'm taking these samples from these dudes, because they're all dudes.
The faster the better.
No, I'm gonna have a little fun with my job, and maybe I'll get fired. But I'm going to ask some questions. I'm going to be like, so what'd you use? What'd you think about? I mean, that's the stuff I really do honestly want to know. Not from a dude, but I want to know.
Well, I mean, are you going to grab it and go, boy, that ain't much, bro?
Are these?
You sure? That's not average. God. Okay. All right, we'll go with that.
I don't know if that's going to be enough, man. I don't know if we're going to be able to.
Go back in there and
test
hit it again.
out.
Let's see what happens. Try it one more time. We'll give you a few minutes to kind of, turn around here.
I don't think we need to even check you out now, man. I think you're all right.
I think you're good, bro.
I think you're good.
Did you make it in the cup?
Did you spill some stuff on the ground?
Because it says in the literature.
Did you leave me a freaking mess, sir? Because this ain't cutting it.
Well, and it says it does say in the literature, they need it from the beginning to the end in the sample bottle. So I guess they're saying don't shoot a little in there and then shoot the rest somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Well, who does that?
Well, but I mean, think about this, dude. In this moment, you're trying to aim it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is just like the difference in taking a drug test and just going to pee for regular. When you go in there to pee, when you're not taking a drug test, it's like, let her rip. But if you're taking a drug test, you got to pee in that cup. Well, you got to aim now. It changes the dynamic a little bit.
Yeah. How about take a drug test while the woman is standing literally right next to you, looking right down?
Yeah.
I'm like, do I look like I do drugs? For you to stand here right in the urinal, looking right down at my wang.
Yeah.
Not behind me.
Right.
Not at an angle behind me.
And she's judging you on some level, good or bad, no matter what.
She's standing touching me.
Oh,
her
God.
body is touching me, looking down.
That would be tough no matter what the sex is. No matter who's touching me, I'd be like, I can't pee with it.
Oh, if it's a dude, I'm saying, dude, no. Not doing it.
Well, it'd be
you
like,
ain't looking at my dick. Back up.
See, that's just like whenever I went to jail that time for DUI, and that guy comes and sits on the toilet 5 feet from me, and he's staring at me, right? I'm looking straight forward. He's staring at me, and I'm thinking, dude, because I was already afraid of having to fight while I was in there. And I'm like, motherfucker, don't. You know what I mean? Don't do this. And he's just staring at me, and he goes, hey. And I'm like, fuck. So I fucking grip my teeth, and I look at him. I said, what? And he goes, man, I can't shit with you sitting there. I was like, oh, okay. So I stood up and walked to the front of the cell while he took a shit. Okay. And when he got done, I went and sat back down. Because I sat in the back of the cell with my back to the wall.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And yeah, that's what he said. He goes, dude, I can't shit with you sitting there.
Okay.
And I'd be, and this dude's been in jail. And
right.
Evidently had been there for a while. Maybe it was etiquette I didn't know. I don't know, jailhouse etiquette. So maybe you're not supposed to sit close to somebody while they're shitting.
Right.
But it being a wide open toilet, I kind of assume that everybody's there. You know, everybody can watch you take a shit in this instance for sure, you know? So, but anyway, yeah.
So how's the healing
It's going good,
process? You back to good? No jock? You don't have a jock on right now?
No. I didn't go back to the jock, but you know, I mean, I've always had what I consider, you know, draws that kind of hold everything together.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of
Sacks.
Yeah. I found an alternative to Saks, bro.
Why the alternative?
Cheaper.
Oh, okay, cheaper.
Way cheaper. Hanes makes some that they call it some kind of a sack, they call it. And I like them as well. They're
just as good?
Yeah, I really do. As far as they
have all the cool prints.
No. They're only those solid colors or whatever.
So with Saks, you're getting the print.
Yeah, you got, you know, Santa Claus on them or whatever, but these are, you know, just solid black or, you know, silver gray, whatever you want to call it or whatever. But I like them as well. But that's new. I just got those here a week ago. But I got tired of buying Saks, you know what I mean? I'm like, God almighty, you know what I mean? $35 fucking dollars, you know?
I mean, I use underwear for a long time. I don't buy underwear often.
Right, but I mean, you have to every so often. I mean, something happens to them, you know?
I mean, I do have a couple pair that probably is screaming at me like, please, just put me out of my damn misery. I was just thinking about that a couple days ago.
Yeah, dude.
My Rice Krispies ones, I've had those for a long time, and they're screaming at me. They're like, and they look good. They're just I don't know.
Well, see, I'm a working man, and you know, my underwear gets sweaty.
That's true.
You know, they go through a lot.
You're out and about.
They go through a lot.
Yeah, and you also, you know, have accidents in the truck.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah,
okay, I can see that. I can see that.
They get shit in sometimes. Yeah, that's the thing too. Yeah, you know, and as they we'll find out if the Hanes are durable or not. You know what I'm saying? I'll put them through the paces.
Well, okay? I can't wait to find out. Maybe by the time you put them through the rigorous testing.
Yeah.
I'll be ready to buy some to make my purchase.
The only way I could put them through more is if I was still real heavy. You know, because when I was real heavy, they really got put through the paces. And some of these underwear are from when I was heavy. You know, and so they're ill-fitting. That was another thing why they're getting cycled out too.
Gotcha.
You know, but yeah, I like the Hanes, dude. When I knew I wanted to buy some more, I told Brandy, I said, I need to find something that, my wife, Brandy. I told her, I need to find an alternative. Is there anything, you know, she's looking around and bringing up first one thing and another. And there's we tried these, what's the brand? Something Thieves. It's a Target brand. A Pair of Thieves, I think. Yeah. No. They're not good.
Junk.
Yeah. They don't do anything. They're like wearing
regular boxers.
No, it's like having like boxer briefs, but there's no support. You know what I'm saying? It's like a flat front or whatever. They don't cup the boys, and I need that. You know, I don't like you know, it's one I always liked whitey tighties because of the support.
Oh,
you know,
I really am indifferent about it. I think because I don't really know. I don't even know if the underwear I have on right now offer that support.
I've got to have it. I have to have it. I mean, dude, I get into things where they'll get together when I set and then pop past each other, and it feels like somebody kicked you in the nuts. Oh, that was one of the sensations I had while they were working on my nuts too.
Oh gosh!
Instead of it hurting like when you get hit in the balls and the bottom of your stomach cramps, you know what I mean? I was getting those cramps, but I didn't feel my balls aching. You know what I mean? Get you some.
No.
Get you some.
No. I told you not to do it.
Hey man, I know you did. There was other people that was like, I wouldn't do that. I told my dad, I told him, I hadn't said anything to him. We were at a football game, and he's always working. My dad's 70 years old, by the way, still baling hay and all this blah, blah, blah. Well, he needs help from time to time. And I was trying to let him know that on my next days off, I wouldn't be able to help him because I was going to have surgery. I said, and you have to be careful how you say things to my parents because they automatically go into panic mode. If I say something like, well, I'm having surgery Thursday, so they'll be like, what? What's wrong? You know what I mean? They automatically freak out or whatever. So I said, hey, Dad, I was going to tell you next Thursday, my days off are going to kind of be taken up because I'm going to have a vasectomy. And he looked at me, he goes, and looked right back at the football game. He never said anything. He was pissed about it. I know him real good. He got mad. You don't want me to get a vasectomy.
And,
I guess he assumes I'm going to give him some more grandchildren. I don't know what his problem was with
but
it.
it's your dad. You can't go to him and say, "Hey, man, why did that make you mad?" Or you just don't care. Why
I could, you know, but I mean,
and he'd tell you.
The very fact that he didn't follow it up with anything
was enough for
means
you.
he don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
So have you told him what happened?
yeah.
And did he say?
I called
anything?
him and my mom, and my dad put me on speakerphone.
Okay.
and I
So what
told
they
the whole
say
thing.
when you told them the story?
Well, you know, my mom automatically goes, "Well, it's probably because you have scoliosis," you know, and she starts, you know, thinking all these things and all that. And
But they didn't say, "We're glad you didn't have it done."
no, but they were
Okay.
like, "I think that's probably enough," you know. And I was like, "Yeah, I think probably so too," you know.
It's probably.
You know, yeah, I could make that determination too. Appreciate it. But anyway, yeah, they were, you know, they were like, "Oh my God," you know. So, anyways, it was everything I dreamed it would be.
Man, I mean, I've had surgery on mine too, you know, but I was asleep.
You know, I asked a
When they
doctor
cut into mine.
about you whenever you had your deal. I said, I have a friend that they had to have emergency surgery on his when he was a kid. He goes, "Oh yeah, you can lose your testicle easily, very quickly." He said, without blood supply, you can lose it immediately. He said within an hour.
Yes, that's why I said when they said to my mom and me, and I didn't understand the severity of it. Right? I just know I had these massive freaking balls that were hurting real bad, and at 1 o'clock in the morning, they're telling us, "We don't have an ambulance on standby, but you need to get to Fort Smith right now, immediately." And we did.
Wow.
I remember in the car going that back way from Tallahassee to Fort Smith.
And I bet
was
your mom driving? Was she flying?
I say it was the back way. Maybe we went. I don't remember exact. I think we went.
I don't really know what the fastest way to Fort Smith would be from Tallahassee.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking maybe we went to Bengal, but I knew that. I just remember being somewhere I was not familiar with, but I know that way real well, even when
like
I was
up
as a
82
kid.
and then
I'm not real sure, but anyways, we made it to Fort Smith and emergency surgery right then. They wheeled me right in. Right when I got there, they were all like, and I still didn't know. I'm just a kid in a car, just with hurt. You know, my balls are hurting real bad. You know, I still don't know what's going on. I still don't have a clue. And I know when I got there, they were all ready for me. And like, I mean, I knew then it was serious.
When
and then mom had to sign a form, which I didn't know this till later. And of course you sign it, but they said when we get in there, if this testicle's basically dead or if we have to remove it, we need you to sign saying we can remove it. And she signed it, which, you know.
Well, it's either that or it'll sit there and like rot and die and kill you from
right.
sepsis or something.
Yeah.
You know, but
I know, but it's just that's just my life. Okay.
Right.
My mom had to sign a form to say that they could remove my ball.
Well, now tell. I don't think
I think I've told this story on the podcast
Are you
before.
Sure?
Yeah.
What was
I
twisted?
think so.
What was wrong?
Well, I guess they had twisted, and then at birth or whatever, and then they eventually they form like a rock or something, or really.
So blood
Was it
supply to
called
both
torsion?
of them? Was
Torsion,
it cutting off the blood to both of them?
I believe so. Yes, I believe
God,
so.
You were about to lose them both, bro. I thought you were about to lose one.
I couldn't tell you exactly. I just know that for about a week, my balls were hurting real bad.
Damn.
And I was in 5th grade, and I kept telling mom. I was like, "Mom, my balls are hurting." And Glenn was like, "You're probably hitting puberty, and things just go soak it in the bathtub." So that's what I remember going in, and I was like, "This ain't gonna help." I knew the pain was just not
right,
bad, but
it's internal.
Get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
You're like, as a dad, you're trying to help. So I went in there, and I just remember laying in the bathtub, just soaking.
These balls are aching.
And these balls are hurting, And then I remember I was at my granny's house, and it was a good thing I didn't stay the night at my granny's because I probably would have, just went to sleep. I probably would have cried myself to sleep. Maybe. I don't know.
Like you were crying they were hurting so bad? Been crying?
Damn right. And I didn't cry then. I didn't cry until the very last. I was in my bed crying.
Yeah.
And my mom had just, for some reason, that was me, man. I'm not trying to tell you that I didn't cry, as a kid.
Well, God.
But I didn't cry as a kid. I mean, I didn't. I did all kinds of, hell, headaches and all that, from being stupid and all that, So I was a tough little bastard. I mean, I was. And so, and that's how my mom knew. She opens the door to check on me, I guess, or whatever, or come in there to say something. I don't know. She comes in there in my bedroom, and the lights are off and everything. I'm sitting there, and she turns the lights on, and there I am. She sees tears, and she was like, "Let's go."
Yeah,
and so she knew then I was
no joking.
Yeah, I didn't cry. I may be like, I want to go to Granny's house, sometime or whatever. I may whine a little bit to get my way and whatever. I want the toy or whatever, but I didn't cry, And she knew then. She said, load up. We got in the car, hauled ass to Tallahassee. As soon as we got to Tallahassee, they're looking me over and all that. They knew right then what the deal was. And they said, we don't have an ambulance. You've got to go to Fort Smith right now. They're ready for you. I'm like,
damn.
Okay. So we go. I'm in 5th grade. Okay. I'm in 5th grade and emergency surgery. I remember they put the oxygen on me, and dude, it was taking oxygen away from me. I could not freaking breathe. I could not breathe. And he held it there, and I'm like, I can't breathe. He's like, yeah, you're okay. You're okay. And then he would like take his hand off and he would like he was doing something else, or whatever. And I'd kick that thing off.
Yeah.
I'd kick it off. Gosh, and then back on, you go, put it back on. And
leave
next
it alone,
thing,
little fucker.
Yeah. And next thing I know, I wake up, and they go, there's a woman standing there and she goes, you okay? I'm like, yeah. She goes, you ready to go to your room? I was like, yeah. I mean, I still don't really know what's going on. They wheel me into the room and it's a dark room, dude, and left me there. I didn't.
By yourself?
It was my room, but I didn't know what was going on.
Your mom wasn't in there or nothing?
No, I don't think so at the time. No. I woke up in the middle of the night. I woke up. It's probably around 5 o'clock, I'm sure, 5 in the morning, and had to piss real bad, real bad. And I'm hooked up to the machine or whatever, and I didn't know what to do. I'm in 5th grade.
Yeah.
And there's nobody there. I mean, and there's a pot, right? And I'm like, that's what I'm pissing in. That's what I'm pissing in. It may be for flowers. It may be, I don't know what it's for.
I don't give a shit what it's for.
I don't care what that thing's for. I'm pissing in it.
Yeah.
And I did. I pissed in it and then knocked it off the freaking side of the deal. Getting back in the bed or something, knocked it over. And I felt bad. Awesome, and dude. I cleaned my own messes. You know what I mean? That's what I do. But I couldn't clean this mess, So I lay back down and I'm laying there and I go back to sleep. And then when I wake up, nurse comes in and checks on me. And I said, hey, I knocked that over, She's like, that's okay. And,
yeah, at the nurse's
I'm in
station,
5th grade.
At the nurse's station, they were going, that fucking kid that got his nuts cut on, he pissed in a deal and knocked it off.
Well, tell me what's going on, man. I don't know what's going on.
I know.
I got out of the bed. I'm hooked up. I don't know if I can even do this. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be up or whatever, but I need to piss. But that's been my life, man. That's been my life. You're faced with the weirdest freaking situations and you just do it. Just like what you said.
You automatically assume it's normal, know, until you find out it's not. You're like, okay, well, this always takes a long time. You can always feel somebody cutting your balls open, right. Okay, this is what it is. You know?
Yeah.
You don't think about it. And I should know, by now we should know.
Yeah.
Anything we do is going to be fucked up.
Well, you did know that. You said it.
Yeah.
You said it. You said it's not, there's going to be a story.
I didn't know how fucked up.
There's going to be a story that comes out of this. You said it.
Yeah.
And we knew it. Well, you didn't know it was going to be like this.
No. I
figured you were going to be like, the doctor was a woman and she was rubbing on my balls and blood started flowing and that. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, That
would have been awesome, actually.
That'd have been a much better story.
Of all the things that could have happened, that'd have been the funniest.
Right. I don't know. Man, what happened to you is pretty funny, dude.
It'd be even funnier than it was a dude doctor if I'd have got an erection over that. That'd be the funniest, probably.
Would you admit that?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Dude.
When she started feeling...
it's not him specifically. It's not like I was looking him in his eyes and he was sitting there rubbing my nuts.
I just can't
you're sitting there staring at the ceiling and you feel lubricated hands rubbing on your bag. What are you going to do?
No, man.
It works every time.
I don't think so. I don't think so, man. And it didn't work this time, and I'm glad.
No, it didn't. But I had a lot of other things on my mind, like we're about to get these babies cut on, and my blood pressure was a little bit high for me, when they took it. And it was not whenever we were done. But going in, I go, well, that's a little high for me. She goes, well, a little anxiety probably, and I was like, yeah, a lot of anxiety because it was like the closer it came to happening, the more anxious I was getting. I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? I hope something don't go wrong. So
Well, it didn't.
No, everything went. I mean, as long as I don't lose a nut over it.
Hey, at least you tried.
I did everything I could do.
You did everything you could do.
That's what I told her. I told Brandy, I said,
your wife.
Hey, I showed up. My wife, Brandy, I showed up. I let them cut my bag. I did everything and they couldn't do it. So that's it. This is a one shot deal. We're doing something else. I don't know what it's going to be, but something else. So but anyway, I didn't intend this to take up, this much time necessarily, but there it is.
It was a great story.
Yeah.
It's one of those that I think a lot of people are going to want to hear. Everybody's going to want to hear it.
Yeah.
Everybody. People that's had it done before and people that have not had it done before.
I know there's going to be most guys that have had it done and be like, what in the fuck?
I think everyone's going to say that. Yeah. Even the doctor.
Well, he did say.
The doctor was like scratching his own damn head. When you see a doctor scratch his head, holy moly.
Yeah. Well, that guy even told me, he said, I started doing surgery in 1995 and he goes,
I was still in school.
He said,
this was when I had my surgery.
I graduated high school.
I think I had my surgery in 95. 94, 93, 95, somewhere in there.
What's what he goes?
I don't even know how old I was.
4 years of college.
How old are you in fifth grade?
Hell, I don't know. Fifth grade, you'd be what? Probably 11?
Yeah.
10 or 11?
I think 11. I was 11 years old. So it was not quite 95, but.
Yeah, it'd be close though.
I was
18 in 95 and you're what,
dang.
5 years younger than me?
I'm a lot younger than that.
No.
You old as hell,
yeah,
bro.
You're like 12, like in that day. Yeah. Yeah. And Brandy was 5 years old.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I went back to school. Well, I laid up with an ice pack. I remember this big ice pack I had. I still wish I had that thing. Dude, it was a lifesaver. Did you have to use your ice pack?
I used it once.
Oh, my gosh. It felt so good.
But mine didn't swell or anything. I didn't have anything done.
But that ice pack, just laying there watching TV and you're butt naked and you got this huge ice pack on your balls, it felt really good. I'm like, I'd cover up. And I'm like, hey, can you put this back in the... I think you put ice in it, but it was like clothy kind of. It was one from a hospital, but I was really impressed with that ice pack. I remember I was like, this is a good ice pack. This is the deal. Yeah. See, my mom may still have it.
What they gave me was like this thing that you like squeeze and it breaks something on the inside of it and then it gets cold.
Oh, okay.
You didn't freeze this. It's some kind of chemical reaction inside of it.
But it's only a one-time use?
Well, I don't really know.
Maybe this was like that, but it seemed like we would put it in the freezer.
They gave me 2 of them. They told me 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off, but I didn't do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Of course you didn't.
Oh, I'm not, I didn't have anything done really. I mean.
Yeah, but if they tell you that, they mean it.
Right. But this was in my mind, and that's just like
everything they're saying
job.
from that
I'm thinking that's for somebody that gets this shit done.
It's just a general statement they make.
Yeah,
don't apply to me.
I'm going to treat this cut like I would any cut, except it's on your nuts, and I'm using antibacterial soap to wash my nuts. I don't, normally I use regular body soap or whatever, but now I made Brandy go while we were in Walmart, and I bought antibacterial Dial.
Really?
And that's what I washed that deal with. Yes.
Dial. So okay, so here's the ball bag. Where did they make the cut? Okay, so let's say it's right here in front of you. Here's the ball bag.
It's kind of like up high, close to your shaft, bro. It's because
you got on the top
because your testicles down lower, and then you got this distance depending on how your balls are hanging at that minute. Mm-hmm. But you got that little bit of gap between your balls and your unit. Well, it's in that space there is where mine's at. It's like
so it's kind of on the top almost. How big was the incision?
Probably, I can't give you millimeters, but in inches, I'd say ½ inch maybe.
Pretty big incision.
Kinda. I mean,
for you to feel.
Son, it felt like he was, like he cut the entire length of it.
Do you have to get do they deteriorate?
Yeah. He said last week or so, probably. He said, you'll just look down, they'll be gone or whatever. So
I bet you my mom took pictures of my ball bag.
I haven't taken any. You know, this day and age, I'm afraid somebody's going to think you're being a pervert or
Right.
something. You know,
Yeah.
I'm afraid to do anything like that.
I don't know if she did or not, but I'd like to have them if she did.
I'm hoping.
I remember them though, like it was yesterday. I remember the staples or the stitches and all that in them. You know,
That'd be tough, dude. They probably had to get in there for you.
I asked Kaysen's doctor.
How big was your incision? Do you remember how long or anything like that?
It seemed like it was at least an inch.
Probably to get in there, yeah, because they had.
I'd say at least an inch or more. I mean, to me, it was bigger than that. I think the scar is still kind of there. It wasn't supposed to leave a scar, but I think the scar is still there. I'll
You gonna check it out and get back to us?
you want me to check it out now? I can check it out right. You want to check it out for me?
Well, you know, in the interest of science, yes. What did you say? You asked Kaysen's doctor what?
Yeah, I was talking to Kaysen's doctor. You know, he went for, I forget. I mean, he was sick or went for, what do you call it?
COVID-19?
No, when you play football, play sports, when you play sports, physical. So I said, listen, you know, he's about my age. He's a little bit younger than I was, but I said when I was 11, you know, 5th grade, I told her what had happened, and I said, I'm just wanting ahead of time, you know. I didn't know if it was hereditary or what, you know. And come to find out, that's what she used to do. Like, she specialized in that. And she said, no, it's not hereditary. And I was like, okay, good.
Bad luck is what it is.
Yeah, bad luck.
Benny Klein luck.
You should have known, Benny Klein, that, you know, this is just, you know. I mean, for you, that's wild. And then when you're in 5th grade, that's wild. I mean, all of a sudden. And then, you know, you're just hanging out at the house. You have to take off school. Luke Mitchell comes over, goes back to school, tells everybody. And then Cam Smith and everybody else decided that I had one cut off, and then came up with about 17 different nicknames for me before I came back to school.
Hell yeah.
When I came back to school, I was under the impression probably nobody knew. And I was just going to say, I had surgery or whatever. I didn't know. Glenn said, tell him you had a hysterectomy.
Yeah.
You know, and my mom was like, shut up. And but I was under the impression that I was going to be able to just say, you know, whatever. No one was going to know that it was to my balls.
Right.
You know?
But then
no, they all knew. Everybody knew. Everybody knew right off the bat, dude. And
Well,
you know, I hear about people going to school and have, you know, you hear about bullying and stuff like that. And it wasn't a bully type thing. I mean, of course I didn't. But dude, that is not something you want to have to deal with in 5th grade.
Right.
Being called one ball, Uno, Quip Torkid. You know what I mean?
Uno.
One ball. Did I say that already?
Yeah. Uno is the best one. It's so easy to say.
Torkid.
You know what I mean?
I
What's
told
up,
Kason
Uno?
the story, and he started calling me Uno too. I was like, all right. Okay.
Well, you know, I remember when, and I don't even know what procedure was done. I have no idea. But I remember Israel had something done, and everybody called him dual exhaust for a long time. He had something done. I don't know if it's to his ass. I don't know. I know his nickname was dual exhaust at one point.
Really?
And he's younger than me in school, but yeah,
I don't know anything about
people
this.
would yell it. You know what I mean? Dual exhaust and all that. You know, I don't know what was was going on with him. We have to ask him.
I'm sure he's told me.
I've forgotten now. It's been, you know, I haven't heard or even thought about it. I don't know why it popped in my head, but I mean, that was a name. But he was in high school, I think when all that was going on.
But having to deal with something like that as a 5th grader,
that would be tough.
Yeah. My point was, it's tough, but dude,
just par for the course.
Throw anything you want at me after that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, oh, don't say that around Ben. You know, I hurt his feelings or whatever. I'm like, listen. You know, that's why I tell friends now. I'm like, I'm not the guy that you have to worry about what you say around me, because you're not going to offend me and you're not going to hurt my feelings, you know, unless you tell me my kid's ugly or some shit like that.
And I've put you to the test a few times, you know what I mean? I've pushed you pretty hard, you know, talking shit.
Well, I was talking to Amy a couple days ago, and I was like, listen, Lucas and Trent, you know, and I've got some other friends too, but Lucas and Trent mainly, those guys I'm going to be friends with until I die.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to worry about what I say around Lucas. I don't have to worry about what I say around Trent. I don't have to worry about I think we've already talked about this before, but I don't have to worry about me saying the wrong thing that can be misconstrued and you're going to take it the wrong way. And then you're going to text me, 14 days later and be like, well, motherfucker, you said that,
No,
you said I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I know people like that you're trying to be friends with them and you're trying to be cool with them and you can laugh and joke and stuff, but you got to watch out what you say because this dude might.
You're never going to get to know them because they can't handle it.
Right.
Yeah, because there's a lot to it, dog.
Getting your balls cut on at 11 years old, you can handle anything after that.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a tough one, dude. Because I was, just like I remember a time that knowing that someone was going to sit there and stare at my nuts, a room full of people essentially, would have terrified me. Dude, when I was 15 years old, I'd have had some kind of an anxiety attack. I wouldn't have went. I'd have been like, no, it's going to have to kill me first. I'm not fucking doing it. And then that was what was funny is once we were all there and I'm all taped down and everything and I'm iodined up and all that, it's like my nuts weren't even showing. I mean, it was like we were literally just sitting there talking. I wasn't even thinking about it anymore.
You're just having a conversation.
Yeah,
your legs
my nuts were real cold, too.
After the iodine.
Yes. Yeah.
So the iodine makes them cold.
Dude, that stuff was, I don't know where they keep it. Evidently probably on the shelf, but it's probably 68 degrees in there, And
so you think it was just the liquid itself, or do you think it was something in the iodine that,
I don't know.
Like like maybe some alcohol? When you put alcohol on it, makes it cold, right?
And they may have put that on there too. I don't know. They put 2 or 3 douses of shit on there, dude, and it was all cold.
But it wasn't enough to take the pain away.
Oh hell no!
Cut into it.
No, the pain was right there. Yeah, it was very obvious when homeboy cut into me. I knew exactly what that was. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I'm walking out. I think I was walking around. I was in Sam's when you called me. No, I was in the doctor's office.
No, you were at Sam's.
Yeah, but I was in the doctor's office and you called me. I called you back.
Oh, okay.
So I was in there laying, resting.
Cracked?
Resting.
Yeah.
I'd already was just resting, and then I looked at my phone when I was going in there for him to check me again, and I saw you had called me, and I was like, oh God, I didn't expect you to call me that day.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna text him probably that later on that evening and see how it went, but I didn't expect you to be calling me. And then I saw that you had called, and then we got in the car and we went to leave, and I looked at my message, and you said, I have an incredible story.
In caps.
In caps.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man. And I had a bad headache, I was like, I'll call him back when I get to, and I need to pee real bad. And before I left the doctor's office, I was going to go pee, and there was somebody in the bathroom.
You got to love that. That always happens.
That was all.
You should have unpredictable bowels and run to a bathroom and take a shit, and it locked because somebody's in there, I don't even know what, fixing their hair, some shit. You know what I mean? Who knows? I'm dying out here.
It's not that they're dying too.
I'm trying not to ruin my sacks. You know what I mean? These people are fucking taking their time.
These things are $40.
You don't understand? I got expensive underwear on. I'm about to shit in. Can we hurry this along a little bit? Or just scoot over a little bit. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got to get out of there. Just move over a little bit. But anyway, yeah, it was
quite the experience.
I knew it had to be potted. You know what I mean? It needs to be documented.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
So,
for sure.
But it was about normal, how that kind of shit goes for me.
What story was I talking about last night when we were playing Call of Duty that I needed to share on the podcast? I said it needs to be shared so that I won't forget it. And
I forgot it too.
Already forgotten it.
I don't remember, dog.
Damn, what was it about? It was a funny story.
I'm trying to remember what you were saying.
I
don't remember for sure.
Was it about Scotty?
I don't remember you talking about Scotty. Although I thought about him earlier when we were talking about guys that are tall that get lots of girls and stuff. He was always that way, always.
Yeah. Yeah, I always thought I was going to catch up to him. He was always way taller than me.
Yeah.
But I always thought I was going to catch up to him at some point. Because his dad's not very tall.
Yeah.
He wasn't very tall at all. He was actually pretty short, And I was like, I'm going to catch up to you one day, And he's like, yeah, probably, And then, no, I never did.
Kind of like me and Gavin. Gavin's freaking 6'4".
Yeah.
And of course, you start thinking, are these kids mine? If I don't have any way to make sperm.
What's the
are
word
these kids
again?
mine?
Ben Sefrins?
Vas deferens.
Vas deferens.
Yeah, I always want to say Vans deferens because
Yeah.
I don't know why I want to say Vans, but it's incorrect. It's Vas deferens.
Vas deferens.
Is that that little tube? Yeah, or tubes in most people, I guess. And I got to assume I have one on the left hand side because
You have 2 kids.
you know, and I can tell they're at least mine. You know what I'm saying? So, but no, and they asked me, you know, how many kids do you have and all that kind of thing.
After or before?
Before.
And then they after 2, you're like, damn.
Well, you know, they're trying to get to know me and wonder why I'm, you know, having a vasectomy at 46, I'm sure, because they're looking at my birthday and like, damn, you know, this guy waited a long time, you know. But
you go, my wife is.
Well, it wasn't that I wasn't very sure because I've been very sure for a long time.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't have any more kids, you know, but.
Yeah, you've never changed. I mean, since I've known you, you've had the same exact answer.
Yes. And you know, once she got kind of worried about this other deal is kind of what pushed it forward, you know, or whatever. Try to be a team player and go, all right, I'll be the one that gets my nuts cut on. Sure. You know what I need them for? I'm 46, whatever. But anyway, yeah, that was the unexpected turn and twist in the vasectomy. I like how final it seems too, because really when somebody tells you they're going to have a vasectomy, you always assume they're going to do it. And I asked the doctor, I said, have you ever had anybody back out? You know, he said, I've had them in this office back out, sitting here and decide they don't want to do it. I said, damn, really? He said, yes.
Like the day of?
Yeah. He's like, I've had them back out.
Because they were scared.
Well, they just, you know, decide it's so final, you know, because supposedly when you get it done, that's it. You know,
right.
And they can reverse them, but it's like sometimes they can't. You know, if they because what they do is they cut a section of it out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because if you just cut it in 2, that bastard will find itself and it'll grow back together. They've had that happen too. They've cut sections out of them and had them grow back together and get people pregnant. All kinds of shit. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, your body wants to reproduce.
No, that girl went and got pregnant by somebody else, and it's not the doctor's.
Well, they've had people go back and say they want to verify, you know, and then go back in there and go, holy shit, this thing grew back together.
Or no, that's not your kid,
right? Yeah. Well, you know, Bill Burr's movie he just came out with that he directed, Old Dads or something like that. That's what it's called. Anyway, that's one of the things this guy's had a vasectomy and all that. And he
Did you watch it?
Oh yeah, it's very funny.
Oh,
it's very much right down my alley.
Mm.
Very familiar territory he's talking about in the movie. It's funny. It's a good movie. I like Bill Burr though, so you know.
Yeah, me too.
One of my faves. Seen him in live before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a good.
My favorite story of his is the muffins, punching the muffins, dude. Oh my god. Oh my god!
Yeah, he's very funny, dude.
It's hilarious. Because that is something I can see myself thinking about. You know, everything. I mean, the stuff he's talking about.
He's very relatable. You know, and
very.
You know, I always assume these things. You know, my parents have my whole life always told me, like Yankees. You know, people from up north. How different they are, and they're dumb, and all these things. Well,
for the most part, they are.
But I mean,
they are different.
There's some very universal things.
But yeah, right.
You know, I mean, some things that just like the people that we've met online, and different things like that. You know, I mean, you meet these people like Flip, you know, or Lorenzo. You know, you meet these people and you think, you know, this guy's from L.A. or this guy's from Washington, and all you ever hear about is idiots from these places. And then these guys are very, very, very similar to us.
Right.
You know, and you go, wow, that's crazy, dude. Even in places that's completely surrounded by morons, these guys are actually semi-normal people. It's weird how people find each other that way, you know, got to go back to them or whatever. But, and that's what I think about Bill Burr is, even though he's like from Boston and, you know, all these things, dude, a lot of things that he said, it's like, holy shit, you know, as outrageous as it can seem, it goes through a man's head, you know, those kinds of things. So I get it.
Yeah.
Very relatable deal to me. But
so back in the day, Josh Hawthorne and Adam lived on 6 Mile Lane.
Oh,
right.
That's right.
We're all in law enforcement at the time. We're on the CERT team and all that. And we would, when we were off duty, of course I didn't do it full time, but them two did. You know, Josh, I think that at the time was a detective, and Adam was the narcotics investigator. And I was labeled a narcotics investigator at the time, and I was on the CERT team. Irrelevant. But you just got to picture a bunch of cops, you know, hanging out at a house, you know, during, you know, off duty, and playing video games. Okay. We would play Halo on this massive. They had at the time it was like maybe the biggest TV you could buy. I think it was a 70-something inch TV.
God almighty, whose TV was
this
it?
is in 05, I think, or 06 or 04, somewhere in there.
That would have been a huge TV in those days.
Yes, it was massive. And so we play. This is relevant to the story, but it's kind of setting it up a little bit, I guess. But we had good times, okay? We had real good times. We had nicknames for each other. Doy Regan was one of the nicknames, okay? Dude, I don't want to laugh, but Doy Regan was one of the nicknames of another person. I won't say who it was, but oh man, we had all kinds. We had all kinds of nicknames. But anyways, that we would name each other on the video game, right? So we would, like, at one point we would go out of the room and they would pick your nickname and you'd come back in and that's your nickname. And you're having to play, you know, we had good times. Eric Donnelly would come hang out. There was several other people that come out, but anyways, so there's a pond right behind their house, right?
Yeah.
And so one day I come over and Josh tells me this story. Adam's like, Josh went fishing and he kept saying, that's very pungent. It's very pungent. So Josh is fishing and I guess he caught some fish and I guess he cooked them, cleaned them and cooked them, right? Well, the landlord came by and they had mentioned to him, hey, you know, we caught a couple fish, hope you don't mind or whatever. And he was like, don't do that. Because when you flush the toilet in this house, any of the toilets, it flows right into that pond. And dude,
they've been eating those fish.
I freaking died. I laughed so freaking hard. I know it's kind of one of those. I know it's a funny story, but it's really, you had to be there. Type thing.
I think it's funny that they were eating the fish.
For Josh to be saying it's very pungent. It's very pungent.
He was just talking about the smell of the pond, like out around it.
Yes.
Oh my God, dude. You know what's kind of scary about that though is, you know, you use toilet cleaners and all kind of chemicals, and then it goes right in there, and he ate the fish that's swimming around with God only knows what they used for toilet, you know, cleansers or, you know, any of those other. I mean, anything you don't want goes down the toilet.
Correct.
So, you know, and in this case, not even getting clean, just raw going right into the pond, which is probably illegal as hell. I would imagine that you can't do that. I don't think.
You know, I didn't
some sort of a permit or something.
I didn't understand it either at the time. I don't know if it was
they
like
just did it. You know what I mean? Probably would have been a big
I don't
deal.
know if it had like a if it had a, what do they call it?
A septic tank?
A septic tank, and then it's goes from there to there. I'm not sure, but they were like, don't do that.
Gross.
Because that's what's in there.
It's like eating fish out of Bandy Creek, so to speak, in Wilburton.
Yeah, and I haven't really I used to hang around Bandy Creek, and I never really smelt anything or anything. But I think that was after because didn't Eastern used to flow into that?
Mm-hmm.
Does it still flow into that?
I could not answer that. I don't know. Surely not. I mean, I would think it's not legal because I know, you know, you're not supposed to have open sewage. That's a big no-no.
Right. So when I was a kid, excuse me. Was that real
Go
loud?
ahead, Dom.
When I was a kid, I hung around there because that was on the next block over. There was a big, huge pond.
Oh, you out there playing in Bandy Creek, splashing around?
Yeah, catching little fish. We caught a little fish one time and put it in Bobby Shelton, who was one of my all-time best friends. We put it in his little aquarium at his grandma's house because his grandma lived right by us.
It died.
And about a year later, went in there to clean that room out, and that fish was still in that tank, and that fish was still alive.
Really?
Yes.
With nothing?
And he had not fed it. He had forgotten about the tank. And his grandma lived alone.
I bet it was green and gross, wasn't it? The
I
tank?
could not freaking believe it. I saw it with my own eyes. Okay, I saw it with my own eyes. We went in there and looked at it, and there it was, still just sitting there chilling.
Damn.
I don't know how. Don't know how.
Wow.
In
Poor
that aquarium.
Fish
So
always
maybe
fish always go through it. You know what I mean?
from Bandy Creek, I mean, maybe it was just a.
But fish don't have any feelings, according to Kurt Cobain. Fish don't have any feelings, so
It's very true.
it's okay to eat fish.
But yeah, I wanted to tell the pungent story. There's a lot of funny stories that happen out there at that house, but that's the one I can tell.
Well, I'm kind of curious. This would be something that we might ask of the people that know us personally. I wonder if people would be interested in having Josh on the podcast. I mean, we could do it remotely if he's, out, gone, or whatever.
I don't know why anybody would not want to have Josh on the podcast.
Well, I'd be curious as to, people that know him would think, dude.
They'd be like, hell yes.
Yeah.
Why haven't you had him on is what they're going to say.
Yeah. That's something I think we should.
Well, I've had people ask me, when you're going to have him on the podcast.
Have you talked to him about doing it? Yeah, you did in the beginning, didn't you?
Yeah. And he said he would do it. He said he would do it.
We might do it. I think that might be something we should look into.
I haven't talked to him recently, but about it. But
well, he's lived somewhere else, so
I've had a lot of people when we first started. They were like, yeah, have me on, man. They were hitting me up about it. Have me on. I want to be on. And we've talked about this before too, but we go through life and we can't do it. We can't do this. We can't, we go through several weeks, maybe a month, 2 months before we do another freaking podcast, and haven't got most of them on.
Well,
that hit me up.
Yeah.
And then there's people that I'd like to have on that I haven't even hit up.
Well, if we could get the remote thing perfected a little bit better, we could probably do some things. It makes it a lot easier, opens it up a lot more. It's not as good. I honestly don't think they're as good. Not that they're bad, but I like them better when we're sitting down in a room together and
sure.
We're to me that's more what I like.
I like hanging out with the people.
Yeah.
Rather than just talking to them I think it's great. We've had recently not so good success doing that. But I don't know if I should talk about that or not. I know you're not wanting to talk about it.
I would love to.
I know you would love to talk about it.
Hash it all
but
the way
I'm not
out.
sure if I can talk about it.
Probably
I'll have to ask him first. Oh my God. We had an issue.
Dude, that would be a great story for this podcast. And if it don't happen, it don't happen. And I don't want to lead people into this big old long clickbait deal, but I'm just saying if we ever get to where we can, it'll probably be our most famous fucking episode of all time. I mean, it's going to be epic. It's going to be up there, bro. If people would listen to the details and
you're talking about the story or the actual podcast?
Everything from from the inception of the podcast, getting through the podcast, and then the fallout. Dude.
Yeah.
I would love to hear that from someone. If I kind of wish I wasn't involved in all of it so that I could think how much, if you were outside of that, how great of a story that would be. Not great like that it causing problems. I'm just saying what would you say? The dramatic part of it, just how it all played out. And I know we're sitting here talking about.
Well, there's more that you don't even know. He's told me not to, Well,
that's what I mean is I wish we could let it out because, dude, it's fucking, and you can cut all this out if you want to.
Well,
but
I meant to ask him before we did this one, can I at least talk about a little bit of it, but I don't know any details. I just know that's my story. I don't know any details.
I just spit all over this thing. Well, and we could even have him come on and tell.
I don't think don't think that's a good idea. Okay.
Oh my God. I laugh like this every time. Every time we talk about it, I laugh. When we talk about it and I get offline, I laugh to myself.
Well,
God, man. And it's not at misfortune. It's not laughing at me. It's just the whole thing is like a story, dude. It's like an episode of a sitcom.
well, it's just what I tell people, man. And when you hang out with us, be ready for the unexpected.
Yeah, it never goes
Expect
away.
the unexpected because the weirdest, most oddest, whatever you want to, it could happen. It can happen.
And I thought at one time maybe we just pay closer attention to stuff than people do, but I don't. You would think if it's very common for weird things to happen to people like they happen to us, then you would witness them at some other time. You'd be like, dude, I was with this motherfucker and this happened. You cannot believe it. But it never does. It's always us.
Yeah.
It's always like, dude, are you kidding me? You know what I mean? It's every time I think maybe the universe hates us or maybe is entertained by us.
When I got married, and my grandma stood up in the middle of the wedding and sang a song.
Without saying anything to anybody?
And Amy didn't know that it was going to happen. And nobody else did either. She should have said right then, I don't, and I'm out. Okay. Because everybody that was there will never forget that moment. Including the preacher.
What song did she sing?
Including the preacher's wife, including everybody.
What did she sing? Do you remember?
No. No, I don't. And it's on video.
Dude.
Now, leading up to it.
If this is on video, we need to see this.
Leading up to it, she kept asking me, I really want to sing a song. And I said, we don't have time. We don't have time. And I said, I just started a job. I just started an oil field job at the time. And I was gone. I was gone.
Come in basically to get married.
Exactly what I did. So I'm like, I don't want to add anything to this, Thank you. I do appreciate, but I don't want to. She kept asking me to do it. I really want to sing a song.
Well, she kept asking, but she got tired of asking, dog.
She did get tired of asking. And so we're all there, right? And we're fixing to do this thing, right? And she walks up to me and I'm talking to the preacher and she said, is there time for me to do a song? Because I really want to do a song. And I didn't want to lie right there to the preacher,
right?
And I didn't know if he was going to go with me on this thing or if he was going to say, yes, there's plenty of time,
Yeah, you never know.
So I was like, I'm older now, right? What I want is what I want, and what I don't want is what I don't want, and I'm going to tell you, But at the time, I was like, I said,
what's your grandma? You're trying to be diplomatic.
I know, yes. And the older you get, you've already said you didn't want it to happen. The
world won't let you though, dude. Over time, you just get grizzled to the shit.
Over time, you just say no.
Yeah.
And bless her heart, okay, but. And I look at him, and he looks at me, and I'm like, damn. I just looked at you.
Give me something
so that you could say no.
Yeah, I'm giving you the eyes.
And he's like, I said, I guess, whatever.
He said, fucking A.
So,
go ahead.
Right? So, dude, I'm telling you, when we're around them, we see them in public or whatever, they'll bring it up. That's how.
That's awesome.
That's
dude.
how this story. I don't want to say. I don't want to be mean, so I'm just going to leave it at that. But everybody remembers the story,
right?
That was there. This was just not a regular, everyday thing that goes down. You know what I mean? This is just not that. And I didn't have a chance to tell Amy beforehand because she's back there getting her makeup and her dress and all that on. I'm not supposed to have any kind of contact with her, right?
Dude, my cheeks are hurting.
Right? So I'm looking right in Amy's eyes.
She stands up.
And she stands up and starts singing. Out of nowhere. Okay? Because I know it's going down.
Oh, my God. Brian.
I know it's going down.
Yeah.
Nobody else does. Nobody. The preacher. Me and him, man. Me and him. Him and I, right there. That's it. That's it. Nobody else.
Dude, I'll bet you the entire congregation that was there was like, what the fuck is happening?
Family, friends, everybody was in shock. They had no idea because it wasn't.
Nobody said
no.
She's going to sing a song. She just
he told her when to do it, and that's when she did it.
Because he's rolling with it. The preacher's rolling with it. He's like, if you'd like to go ahead.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, it wasn't to do with the song itself,
Right.
Or whatever. It was just how it all went down.
The unplanned outburst.
It was unplanned, and everybody, including Amy, thought that whoever this was that stood up in church and started singing did it on their own free will. That nobody knew.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget it. I was looking right at Amy, and she was like, she was, I saw.
Like, what?
I'm like,
what is
I'm about to
this?
freaking lose it right here. I'm trying to bite my tongue. I'm trying to do whatever, and I'm worried that she's going to be mad.
It's your special day, bro. It's
yeah.
a special day. Yeah.
So I wanted to go down right. I want to go, so I'm thinking.
Well, that's what your grandma had in mind too. She's like, to top this thing off.
It's true.
I need to do a special.
It is true. It is a story that, like I said, man, I can bring it up in front of everybody because I can be around people and be like, Amy probably should have ran right off the bat. She knew she should have ran when my grandma stood up in the middle of the wedding and started singing, out of nowhere.
With no music.
No music.
Nothing.
A cappella, bruh. Straight up. Okay. So
I wish you knew what song.
now
dude.
my Uncle Bub filmed this thing. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's
Did
what
he pan to her whenever she started singing?
that is exactly what I want to know. Still to this day, I want to know if he was doing this and all of a sudden, just like a hard right, like what the, or did she stand up right in front of him, dude? That is.
Where is the video?
My mom has it.
Dude.
My mom has it. She told me the other day. I didn't know. I thought that my uncle, I don't even know if I told Amy, because Amy was like, your uncle has that video. And I was like, yeah. And she goes, does he still have it? Like periodically she'd be like, you think he still has that video? And I'm like, yeah, and surely he still got it, And my mom told me the other day, no, I've got the video. He gave it to me.
That's awesome.
I said, well,
listen, I have money.
Okay?
I don't have a lot, but I have money I would pay to watch this.
we need that video. We need that video.
Dude,
but I can bring it up to people that have not seen it and they laugh just like you are.
Yeah.
It's
very funny.
And to the people that were there, they really laugh. Okay.
Sure.
They bust out laughing. Even the preacher and the preacher's wife at the time, I'm saying even the preacher and his wife, still to this day, well, periodically when we see them, they'll bring it up and everybody starts laughing because it was just like I said, she just stood up in the middle of church, started singing. It wasn't, okay, we're going to have this, Ben's grandma's going to sing. It wasn't none of that.
So the preacher just gave her the nod. He's like,
I don't know. I was just worried about how am I going to tell Amy before, like when she walks up here, I'm like, hey, by the way.
well, and I bet in the back of your mind,
My
you're
grandma's
thinking,
gonna sing a song.
she's not going to do it. I bet you're thinking she'll back out.
Oh, no. Hell no.
You knew she was going to?
Yes, I knew she was going to do it. Are you kidding me? Yes, she's kidding to me, bruh. She's kidding to me.
Should've had
She
her
said
head.
she's going to do something. She's going to do it.
She was asking, but she wasn't asking. She was telling you.
She was never asking me.
She's like, man, I'm going to sing at your wedding.
Yep, exactly. That's what it came down to. Yes. Because she asked me 17 times, at least. And I kept saying no.
The day of the wedding, she's like, I'm going to sing this motherfucker, man. I'm singing this, I hope they're ready. I hope people are ready for this shit because I'm about to belt this shit. Oh, what was it? I want to know what song it was, man, because it needs to be something. Dude, if it could be the Pledge of Allegiance or something like that. Oh, my God, bro.
It wasn't that.
or My Country 'Tis of Thee or something.
No,
like
it was
that.
it was like a Lord's Prayer, maybe. Is that a song that would be?
I've never heard anybody sing the Lord's Prayer, but I guess you could. You probably put it
I
to
don't
music.
know. I don't know. I
Maybe
don't remember.
Star Spangled Banner.
There was no music. There was no music.
Right.
So yeah. So that's what I'm saying. To get back to why I told this story was, she should have ran right then. She should have known that nothing about me was going to be just normal.
Yeah.
Because it has been. It has not been.
Right.
And
very funny, dude.
And then now, just 3 days ago, they cut your ball bag open
and didn't do anything.
and didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And you went to Walmart and took your pants off, took your jockstrap off, and immediately regretted that decision.
Right. Yeah.
Decision about the incision.
Because the thing is that
yeah.
skin, when one part of it moves, it all moves.
Mm-hmm.
So when you let that,
you don't realize it until you have an incision.
Expand, yeah, it tugs. No matter where that's at, it's going to tug, bro. And you're walking through Walmart? No, you're not. You're walking with a hitch. You know what I mean? You're going, like every time you take a step, it hurts.
What'd you do? Just step up in the cart and have her push you out?
Took a lot shorter steps. You know what I'm saying?
You shuffle.
Yeah. I was kind of walking like my ass was raw or something, kind of,
It may have been from
shitting on the bed. Yeah.
from clenching your cheeks, bro.
Oh, yeah. I was very tired. My butt cheeks were very tired.
Damn.
Yeah, it was quite a deal. But yeah, I would like to see this video.
I didn't. I've never told you that story.
You had mentioned it before, but I'd never heard it all the way through.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
We need to see this video, bruh. Whatever we got to do. If it's on VHS, I'm fine with it. We just need to.
I'm sure it is on VHS or it's one of those, but I can put it on.
I'll pay to have it switched over if that's what needs to be done.
I've got all the necessary equipment to make that happen,
dude.
Yeah, man.
I'll record it on the TV if I have to. Whatever it takes. You know what I'm saying? I'll use my phone and video it off the screen.
I know it's got to be as funny as it sounds because
I hope to God
the story sounds because everybody laughs when I bring it up. The people, especially the people that were there, they're like, "Oh my God, I'll never forget it." So
dude,
it had to be.
I want to see your face as it starts, and then
we were both staring at each other, and I was trying to tell her with my eyeballs. You know what I mean? Because I was thinking,
yeah, but you guys were new enough then; she couldn't read the eyeballs, probably.
Right.
I
was thinking,
she's like, what's this motherfucker's problem?
I was thinking, there's got to be a way. I need to tell her this is going down.
She's about to sing.
Because I'd already told her that my grandma was asking to sing, and and so she did not know it. And I was worried. I mean. Dude, I was, and typically I would not be. Typically, this would be something I would set up. You know what I mean?
But this is a special day. Yes, dude. It's what makes it so funny.
Yes,
you're trying to make it go off without a hitch. You know? I mean,
right. And me, I throw humor into everything. Right.
Well, you want it to be everything Amy wanted it to be.
Right.
I mean, anybody wants that when they get married for their wife.
Yeah.
You want it to be
I want her to think that I was taking it serious.
Right.
So I needed to tell her. I felt an enormous
responsibility
to tell her.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it.
Right.
And I thought when she walks up here, I'm going to whisper to her, she's going to sing a song. I'm like, what the fuck? What? I'm going to try to like ventriloquist, she's going to sing a song.
Grandma wants to rap.
Like keep my teeth, she's gonna sing a song. She's gonna sing a song. She's gonna sing a song.
It's okay. Amy figured it out pretty soon.
She did. Singing. She did. Well, it's just like the time, the porn was on the TV in the lobby of the hotel.
Yeah.
True story. I told the story before. Mm-hmm. Hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
She was there to see that. Right. It's not a story that I made up or that I am telling, and it only happened to me. She was sitting there. She walked in the lobby with me. She went to sit down and was looking the other way because she was like enormously
embarrassed for the fact that it was on the TV. Yeah.
Yes. She didn't know what to think, and me, I'm thinking, I didn't know what to think either. I thought I was unpumped. I did. I really did. I thought this is all set up. You know, the weenie dog, the pizza delivery guy walking through, everybody with a straight face. Nobody was looking around. Nobody was looking at me. Nobody was even acting like they knew what was going on. They all acted like they didn't hear it. And this TV was on full motherfucking blast. Okay? It was echoing. It was echoing through the whole fucking lobby. All right? It was enormously loud, Lucas.
Yeah, a lot of moaning going
I
on.
I can't stress
It's funny.
enough how loud this thing was. And for everybody to have a straight face, except for the wiener dog, and he's sitting there and he's looking up at me. You know, he's got that look in his face like, dude, you hear this too, right? I'm like, damn, I do hear this. This is a setup because you're a wiener dog. Yeah. Why is there a wiener? Have you ever seen a wiener dog in the fucking lobby of a hotel? No, you have not.
No, I haven't.
You ever seen porn on the damn TV screen? No, you have not.
Not in a lobby.
Have you ever seen in the lobby? You ever seen porn in the lobby on the TV screen and everybody having a straight face? A 60-year-old lady with the wiener dog having a straight face? She's gonna be going, 60-year-old woman's gonna be like, "Hey, this needs to stop."
Maybe they're just trying to get through it. You know what I mean?
And the
or maybe it was actually a setup and you didn't react appropriately, so you didn't make the show.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? They're like, they didn't react, so I'm not going to use them.
Well, I was looking around like, what the hell is going on here? I was the only one.
You're like, where's the remote?
Besides Amy, but she went and sit down.
You're like, where's the remote at? We need to turn this down.
I told him at the end, I was like, bruh.
You know your porn's playing.
Like, you got to change the TV, man. You know? And
what'd he say?
Just
like, what are you talking about?
Just like I said before. No, he didn't question nothing. He goes, he didn't even look at the TV
realized.
or the remote or the TV. He didn't look over and go, what? He just grabbed it and turned it. And I think what happened was he was surely not. Surely he wasn't watching the TV because this lobby is well lit and it was huge.
Yeah.
And it had a real tall ceiling. It was renovated. It's the La Quinta Inn in Fort Worth. Okay, yeah. So if you don't believe me, go check it out. The TV's still there. I guarantee it.
May have porn on it even.
And the old lady that was checking people out, she didn't say a word. The younger guy didn't say a word. The woman that was about my age at the counter didn't say a word. She was checking out. The lady with the wiener dog didn't say a word. The pizza delivery guy walks through the lobby with pizza, didn't say a word.
So the guy that turned the TV, he didn't look at the TV and go, "Oh no, God," or nothing.
No, right when I said you need to turn the channel, bruh, and I was walking out, he just goes click and turned it like that.
That's weird.
Yes,
that's a very weird thing.
Yes, I agree. That's what when I was walking out. I mean, even to this day, I still think about it from time to time. I still try to process everything that was going on. Then he didn't even look at the TV. Like if I'd have said, you need to turn the channel, I'd have been like, what? He didn't even do that. He grabs a remote. It's right there on his desk. He grabs the remote and turns it.
Wow.
In not even a second.
That's very strange.
I mean, like he knew.
Snap again. What finger are you using to snap? Your ring finger?
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess so.
Who in the fuck uses their ring finger to snap?
Really?
No one. You're the only person I've ever seen ever.
Really?
Middle finger. Snap with your middle finger, bro.
This one?
Absolutely. Nobody snaps with their ring finger. Who the hell? Who the hell? I can't even hardly do it. My fingers don't even work that way.
I'm going to say you're the only one.
The snaps with their middle fingers?
Yeah.
I promise you. I challenge you on the podcast. You ask people, do a poll and say, what finger you snap with? What fingers? You're going to see no ring fingers. No one.
No ring fingers.
Nobody.
Thumb and ring finger. Well, it's got to be your thumb, right? I
mean, thumb and middle finger, bro. That's going to be. Now, I'll tell you this. I used to walk around when I was young to make a lot of snap noises. I would snap both.
Yeah.
I would do that. But I don't just normally just jump out there and use my ring finger.
But it did. It worked.
Yeah, but this is way easier. It's closer. You know what I'm saying? In relation.
No, I don't like that. I don't like it.
Well, I'm sorry, but now that we're talking about shit that's abnormal, that's very strange.
How did you catch that, by the way?
I just saw your hand look weird when you snapped. I was like, It looked funky.
Dude,
You know what I mean? Because
you're
I've
eat
seen a
up
lot of
with it.
people. Because I played music, dude. And you'd snap sometimes, or something to kind of keep beat.
Keep the beat.
And I've never seen anybody snap with their ring finger. Your hand was like doubled up to reach it because it's way harder.
Everything
to do what
about
you're
me
doing.
gets on your nerves. The way I eat
It's not-
popcorn.
it's not on my
the way I
nerves. It's
snap-
just strange.
The way I snap my fingers.
It's not a. I'm not mad about it. It's just weird. You know what I'm saying? The way you eat popcorn is very weird.
I don't see how.
The way you eat popcorn is way stranger than this.
Really?
Yeah. Yes. Nobody eats popcorn like that.
I think everybody snaps with their. I don't think people snap.
You're going to be so surprised, dude. I promise you.
I'll start the poll.
We're going to ask Amy when we get done. What fingers
I'll
do you
start
Don't
the
say
poll.
anything to her. Just say, what fingers do you snap with?
Okay.
And she's never going to say ring. She's going to say middle finger and thumb. Never ring.
This is so much better.
That's the craziest shit I've ever seen. Do you have like an extra long thumb or something? Why would
Yeah.
you do it that
Can you
way?
do this?
Oh, no.
Try
Holy
it.
shit. No, I cannot. I mean, no. No.
No, you cannot.
God
do it.
almighty. The fucking your thumb do that? That's like dislocated.
I don't.
That's gross looking.
I just-
That's funky, bro. I don't think you should do that.
It's
What the fuck is wrong with you?
You
dude?
can't.
What is that? I've never seen that. Your thumb is straight down,
I
bro.
remember showing people that in school, and they were like the same reaction. Like, what the hell's wrong? I don't know. It's just the way it is, bro.
That's not supposed to happen. Something wrong with your tendons or something.
I don't know.
But that's
Nothing
still,
about me is normal, man.
it's not as weird as snapping with your ring fingers, bro. I've never seen it. I mean, I said I used to do it when I was young, but I would, because I like to hear that sound, just goofing around or whatever. But see, I'm real bad about. I have a deal that, and Brandon makes fun of me for doing it, but I'll do this. Like I'll be walking around and not realize that I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm thinking
Do you
about
do
something.
this a lot?
No, I don't mess with that.
Okay.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, I just,
Oh,
or you
you
can
like stretching your? Oh, yeah.
do that.
No, but I'm real bad about be thinking, and I'm not counting. I'm paying no attention to what I'm doing with my hands, and she'll say you're doing that thing with your hand,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm just, I don't know. But I'm not snapping with my ring finger though, Brad. That's weird.
I think everybody does, and you
I
don't.
think you're so wrong that you're gonna be shocked. Nobody's gonna reach all the fucking way across their hand to snap every time.
You're not reaching across. It's right there.
It's not right there. Your middle finger's way closer. All you gotta do is rear up that index,
Yeah.
and you're there. This way, you got to rear up two fingers and then snap. It's like crab claws, bro. Yeah, and look how straight your fingers are when you're snapping. Whose fingers are that straight?
Well, show me how you do it.
Mine are curved. See, I'm just trying to snap like you. It's so much harder. Look how much louder. So much more force with the middle finger.
Can you hear that? If you can hear it, tell us whose is louder.
Maybe because you're practiced at doing it with those
Maybe
fingers.
because it's the better finger to do it on.
I don't think it is.
It's louder, so automatically.
And it takes more, I don't know, it's just strange. It feels out of place.
No, that feels out of place.
It feels like you're getting like, how your hand only has so much power in it. When you get to a certain point, you kind of lose power. Well, like having to bend your hand around that far, you're losing the pressure to snap.
You heard how loud my snap was. It was louder than yours.
Well, you've trained the
so have you.
You've trained the
So have you.
muscles and stuff.
So
in
I
your
guess I
hand to do
figured
that.
out that this is louder.
I don't think
So this is the
it's
way I'm
not
going to
louder.
do it.
It's not louder than me. No, see, same.
It's louder.
No, you're crazy. Of course, I'm closer to my mic and I can hear it through the headphones too. So that's probably why.
That's exactly why. That's exactly why.
Think about it.
Regan got married.
Yeah. I was thinking about that earlier. I was going to ask you, how did that go?
It went good. It went good.
You sound like Kermit the Frog when you went.
Well,
That was awesome.
let me tell you what happened.
Kermit.
We rented some cabins.
In
Yeah.
say the town,
Yeah, it's by Broken Bow. It's
Hochtown, somewhere in there.
no, it's before you get to Broken Bow. But it's a place everybody, I guess, people get married at, and it's way up in the mountains, man. It's like some really bumpy, rocky roads, like not trails almost
Really?
to get there. Yeah, pretty cool though, right there on
Nice
the
once you
river.
get there and everything.
Oh yeah, the cabins were great. I was kind of bummed out because our Our cabin had a big tub in it, and the jets didn't work. I didn't appreciate that.
Ooh, you take baths?
No, but I wanted to.
I don't like baths, but to each their own.
Well, I haven't taken a bath in a long time.
There's a reason for that, dog, because it's called modern technology, where you don't have to set in your own
Well,
sauce.
I know. That's why I don't take baths.
Me either.
I like showers.
But I guess a jet's to be cool for a minute.
Well, they had a hot
there.
tub. It was a really nice hot tub, so we got in that a few times. And but everybody got sick. That was what I was going to tell you. That was the funny story.
Oh God, sick like how?
Like sick,
like shitting,
stomach bug, virus,
throwing up, and
just I'm not going to give any details. Virus.
Was it the food?
We thought it was at first, and we were trying to like pinpoint what. This was the night before, right? And
the night before the wedding, everybody was sick.
Yes.
Damn.
Yes.
Everybody.
I woke up at 5:30, and I've never had in all my years, I don't think I've ever had a stomach virus. People are like, "Is there a stomach bug going around on social media?" And you're like, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah.
Just deal with what you've got going on,
right?
And shut up. And so I get so tired of it, seeing that shit sometimes. I'm just like, come on.
Till you're in there humped up, Brad.
Well, I wasn't going to put it on Facebook. So, is there a virus going around or something? No, you're dying, Yes, there's a virus, or yes, you've got issues. So deal with it. Just deal with your own freaking problems.
Right.
But anyways, I was like, okay, this is how this is, okay? Because I didn't know. I've never felt that before.
I live that way.
My belly's never hurt like that. Ever in my life. And I woke up at 5:30 in the morning with it hurting. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And his family, his grandma and mom or whoever, had made all the food the night before. And then we prepared, or I say we, but Regan, my brother-in-law, actually, mostly my brother-in-law and sister-in-law and nephew, Carter, Brian, and Jen, did the food the night of the wedding. And dude, they did a freaking fantastic job. Huge shout out to them, because they got there. He had all the, he made sliders and pulled pork and all that, so they were a huge help. They were a huge help. Big time. But the night before we had, chicken spaghetti and banana pudding and chocolate cake and that kind of thing, and a bunch of other stuff, I guess, and salad and that kind of thing. And so, dude, I tried everything, right? So I was like, shit, man. It had to be a chicken spaghetti, because I was thinking you just got
chicken.
You got some chicken that had some salmonella, and that's what I even said. I said, I'm not, this is nothing. Sometimes anybody can prevent. You just may have got some bad chicken at Walmart or wherever, But some people didn't have any food. They got sick. Then, they'd already eaten or whatever, and so they didn't eat any of the food, and they were still sick themselves.
Wow.
So, because I was trying to do a process of elimination, but I didn't really care. I was like, it's just what it is. But I was trying to figure out if it was banana pudding, or we were, and they'd be like, nope. I didn't have any of the banana pudding. I didn't have any of the chicken spaghetti. I did eat some cookies, and I'm like, well, I didn't have any cookies, so it's not the cookies, and, but you got sick and you ate a cookie or whatever. Anyways.
Yeah. Probably a true bug where I could.
Yes, that's exactly what it was. And then, my mom and sister and Piper, my niece, they came, and by the time to the wedding, and by the time it was time to go home, Piper's belly started hurting.
Oh God!
But my nephew Hoke, his belly had been hurting the whole week. I didn't know this, but he wasn't there. But his belly had been hurting the whole week. So maybe Piper had gotten it from him or gotten it from somebody, at the wedding. I don't know. Irrelevant. What is relevant is there was a lot of people that were hurting. Okay.
I'm sorry.
No. It's funny.
It's not funny, but it is.
It is funny.
It
is funny. It's just one of those things. I'm telling you.
Trying to have a good,
yes.
Nice
thing, and I walked Regan down the aisle, and I wanted to, of course, in my mind, I want to be a clown,
Right.
And then I was like, no,
I'm
because
sure
she
she's
was
afraid
like,
you're going to.
and I don't know. Yeah. Because she was the day before, she was like, do you want to like, I think we should play like a rap song or something, like my song to go, and I was like, hell yes. Play some freaking Tupac, And then after it was over, she was like, I wish we'd have done that, really. And I was like,
Yeah.
she goes, I thought you were really going to do it. And I was like, no, this is your day. There is a time and place. And yes, I want to be a clown every day, my life, because that's what I live for. I live to be funny and have a good time. I don't care if you think it's funny.
Right.
If it makes me laugh, that's all I care about.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make other people laugh.
Yeah.
That's what people don't understand.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
I'm making myself laugh.
If it's funny, it's just by accident because I'm just doing my thing.
I'm not gonna, I'm really not a clown. I'm not gonna stand up and try to make everybody laugh. I do it to make myself laugh. Whether it be to, your reaction to something or whatever, like when I say I don't drink coffee, when the waitress asks me, it's not to make her laugh. It's the look on her face makes me laugh. Right. That's why I say it, So anyways, I did wear my Michael Myers socks, they're knee-high socks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. While I was walking her. And I didn't want her to cry, so I was trying to keep her, from crying or whatever, So I did tell her that I was like, I wrote you a poem while we were walking down because we were up on the hill and we had to walk down the steps and then walk down the aisle, and we're outside. So everybody's looking. I said, I wrote you a poem. And she's like, yeah, whatever, and I said, I did. I said, roses are red. No, what I say? I said, what's black and blue and really neat? And she was like, what? And I said, the Michael Myers socks I'm wearing on my feet. She starts laughing, and then we get up there, and I said, I'm serious. I really am wearing them socks. As we're walking down the aisle, she starts laughing again. But anyways.
So it went off without a hitch, though.
Oh, yeah.
Or it
went great.
Hitch happened in the end, but yeah.
Judge Hogan did it was like literally 13 seconds long, the wedding. And it was over.
High five, sir.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I said, thank you so much. This is more than what I wanted to do anyways. I don't want to be walking in front of all these people. Everybody's like looking, and I'm walking down the aisle, and I was like, God, I don't want to. So
wonderful.
I do not, I haven't been able to work out in a long time, so I look terrible, obviously. And so I'm just not wanting to be wearing, kind of dressy clothes. I didn't have a suit and tie or whatever, but.
No tie?
No tie.
Wow.
I just had a button-up shirt and jeans and then my shoes. But yeah, it went great, man. I mean, I got to meet some of his family, and he's got an Uncle Billy that he's pretty funny dude, man.
Well, I'm glad it went like you guys wanted it to.
But the groomsmen, I was talking to him, one of them, and he goes, after this thing's over, I'm gone. He goes, I cannot take it. He's from McAllister.
Oh, yeah.
He said, I can't. I'm sick. He was still sick. He goes, I'm hurting bad.
God.
And I was glad that mine subsided for the wedding.
Yeah.
And then it came back with a vengeance. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dude, that sucks.
Yeah. I mean, and I had a good time. It didn't, get in the way, but it, man.
You ought to live that way a little bit, okay? Dude. You ought to be on strong, okay? And you live on,
And this is the kind of story I don't tell. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This kind of thing, me being sick, my headaches I do because it has ruined my life, right? And I have to tell people why I'm the way I am. They're like,
well, it's getting way better.
They're like, what happened to you? You used to work out, and you used to do this, and you used to come around and all. And I'm like, listen, my life has changed big time because of headaches. So yes, they're getting better, and that's another thing I want to talk about at some point, not tonight, but at some point, because I mentioned to somebody else, some friends of mine, about my headaches and getting better and the doctor I use and all that. Well, they went. Like, I've told a lot of people right about it. Nobody's taking me up on it. I guess they all think I'm full of it, or they don't believe or whatever. Well, they did. And they messaged me and was like, hey, Bob, I just want to let you know that she went today, and she's feeling way better. And I was like, okay, great, but it's the day of. It's your first time. There's things you need to know. You know you may be sore tomorrow after the getting adjusted and all that with this doctor, this type of care. So I was like, don't go shopping after you go to the doctor. Don't go shopping. Don't
take your ass
on the
home.
day. Yeah, go home, rest. Get some ice if you need to, and so I messaged them. I don't know. Probably this was a few months ago or a couple months ago. Yeah, about a month or two ago. And I messaged them about a week or so ago and said, hey, just wanted to check in because I don't see these. I know them. And they, they're from McAllister and all that. And I know them, but I'm not like best friends with them. I don't see them all the time or whatever. And I was like, hey, I just want to check in. Just, how's her care going? How's her headaches and all that? And he said, dude, this is the only thing that's ever helped or something like that.
Wow.
The drive, you got to drive to Tulsa, Broken Arrow. But he said the drive sucks, but and I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, chronic pain, I mean, my God.
That's what I'm trying to tell people, man.
Yeah, I don't do good hurting, period, much less it all the time.
For me, I think about people that have headaches and how it could help them. But, I started getting them when I was real young, 3 years old or 4 or whatever. And that's who I'm really, people's kids.
Yeah,
if
you suffer or whatever.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
And that's who I love to help anyways, but to think about kids that are suffering. And I think they even took their kid too.
Wow.
Yeah. So then her kid's still in high school, I think. So, anyways, long story short.
Kason doesn't deal with any of it, does he?
He's got some headaches and he's I've taken him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is he don't have to, you catch it at a young age, man. You can, you don't have to go like I do.
Yeah.
You don't have to go all the time.
Huh.
But I'm spread out now. I mean, I'm lasting longer. I mean, hell, I went 3 weeks without having to go to the doctor.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I remember you going once a week, every week.
Twice a week.
Well, you going twice?
My first, yeah, and I needed to go more than that. But it was in Tulsa, so
Yeah.
I was like, I'll just sit here and die, because when you first start, it's a process. It's a process. But it's the only way, man. It's the only way. If you have headaches or if you have neck pain or if you have lower back pain and don't have headaches, this is where you need to start. This is where you need to start. And it'll probably solve your freaking problems. I see it all the time. When I walk in, I see old people, I see young people, and they all have the same. I ask them, how long have you been doing this? How long have you been coming? Da, 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 da. Oh, my husband, it saved him from having back surgery because he had a doctor tell him he needed back surgery.
Damn.
And so we got a second opinion or whatever, and we started coming here. We drive 3 hours. One of them drives from Missouri.
Wow.
Damn right. So saved him from having to have back surgery. It's changed everything. He's going to play golf now, So that kind of thing. Anyways, so what else we got to talk about? We talked about the wedding. We talked about virus that I've never had in my life.
I didn't know about that.
And God, I never want it again. Yeah, it was a funny. I told you I had a funny story, epic story.
Yeah. And
that was the gist of it. There's more to it, of course. I mean, everybody was sick, and that's what's insane. It was like, Amy went down there and was helping out because it was, a few houses down or the main house, about not even a quarter mile. I wouldn't even say that. I'd say probably, I don't know. But she'd go down there, and she'd come back up there, and I was laying in the bed, and she's like, everybody is sick. Everybody is. She goes, it's not just you. Everybody. And I was like, damn, what are we going to do? Because there's not going to be a wedding in that case,
Yeah.
Even Regan was she had the stomach bug. Everybody.
Yeah, well, you could
But it wasn't the food. It was a virus.
That's crazy, dude. Yeah, that kind of stuff sucks. Because it can, like you said, I mean, I can remember when I first had my gallbladder taken out, it ruled my life. Literally, it influenced everything I did for a couple of months. Emergency, though.
Just getting used to it. Your body getting used to it.
Would have to shit at some random time.
Oh, gosh.
I'm talking about like no build up. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, I feel like I need to go to the bathroom. No, you're just chilling. Like I'm chilling right now. And then it's an emergency.
Well, what's different now?
I don't know. My body don't, especially since I lost weight, I don't have those big problems like that anymore. But
so you've just gotten used to it, or your body's adapted,
I guess.
But I mean, having your gallbladder taken out is like it's kind of a shock to the body, right?
Yeah, your body doesn't, because
know what to do.
It doesn't hold as much bile all the time as it normally would, because that's what that little gallbladder's for, is to hold like an excess amount or whatever. So you don't process really greasy things very well. There's a whole bunch of stuff that, can bother you, which mine, it just depended, just sometimes it would be worse than others. But there was, what sucked about it was, dude, you couldn't just go get in a vehicle with a bunch of people you don't know and take off driving. You know what I mean? Like you don't get on an elevator, nothing. I didn't do anything that that I didn't have absolute control of for months.
Dang.
Dude, I went and I took a shit in the woods across from a crack house one time on the way to Wagner to work because it was an emergency. Absolutely, drove out there, thought this house was abandoned. I think I've told you this before.
Yeah, I think you did.
I thought the house was abandoned, and I go out into the woods. And as I'm coming back out of the woods, there's a woman and a kid playing in the front yard. Whenever I go get back in my truck, I'm like, hello. Get in in my truck and drive off, So, but anyway, yeah, that's a tough deal, man. And if there was any throwing up involved, those kind of stomach bugs really suck.
Made me think of the story of the time when I was in 5th grade and I had to pee real bad. And I ran into the bathroom and peed. And on my way out, the female janitor was in there cleaning the sinks and stuff, and she freaking flipped on me.
For what?
Oh, she ripped in because I'm in the bathroom with her.
Oh.
And she was scared of her job and what it was going to be, and I was going to get her in trouble and all this, she just didn't, she's in the bathroom cleaning.
She didn't see you in there? I mean, you were little, but
I ran in there after she was in there.
Oh.
I needed to pee real bad. So I just went and pissed. She's ripped into me. I'm thinking,
what do you want me to do?
This ain't gonna do you any good. What you need to do is shut your fucking mouth and let me go back to class, or let me go to class. Yeah. And no one's ever gonna know about this.
Right.
I'm not gonna try to get you in trouble, or I wasn't even thinking that way, but now I am, bitch.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking you work for me now, that type of thing. I just need to pee real bad, okay?
Now you bend it around like that.
Yeah. Don't start none, won't be none. I'm just going back to class. Damn. I get why she was, but she just been like, hey, next time don't, whatever.
Yeah.
No, dude. She was shaking. Like she thought she was going to jail.
Oh, my God. It's a janitor job.
Little
right?
Benny pulled his weenie out, while she's in there in the bathroom with him, I'm like, no. Shut up. Goodbye, I was like, damn.
That's funny, dude. Well, and I remember times being a kid.
They don't tell you that.
Well, and people tend to take things further with kids, especially when it comes to attitude, when they think that, kid can't do anything about it. Yeah, it's awesome. They just think that you're a kid. What are you going to do? Especially whenever we were growing up, because, I mean, there was no way to know what was going on. You know what I mean?
But
so
she's
probably just being a
shithead.
She's just being a shithead because she can. If you'd have been a grown man, she wouldn't have tried to flip out on you. It's because you're a 5th grade kid.
No, she was scared. She was scared, visibly scared. I knew why she was screaming at me, because she was about to get in trouble, right? She thought she was going to get fired. She's in the bathroom with a boy, and it's going to look bad because I'm going to go out of the bathroom and there's going to be teachers who's going to see that she's in there or whatever. That's what she was afraid of. She was afraid that it was going to look bad that I was in the bathroom
Why
while
didn't she
was
just
a
turn around and
female.
walk out whenever you walked in? Did she not see you come in or something?
No, she didn't see me come in. I'm leaving the bathroom, and she's like picking her cone up or whatever, and notices that I'm in the bathroom. And she goes, "Oh my God!" It was that middle bathroom in right there by the 6th grade in elementary, Grace Russell Elementary. Is that middle? I say middle bathroom. It's the only bathroom, I guess, as you right by the cafeteria, or yeah, right there by the cafeteria.
I don't know. I didn't go to school there in grade school.
Oh,
so.
you didn't, did you?
No, didn't come till junior high.
And it wasn't a big bathroom. I think it had 3 stalls and a couple sinks or 1 sink or whatever.
It's an old
But
ass
she
building.
didn't know I was in the bathroom. She never knew until I was leaving the bathroom.
Didn't they build another grade school?
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah.
And so she was shaking because she thought, this is it. I'm going to get in trouble for, trying to go into the bathroom when there was a boy in there. And I'm thinking,
It's a damn shame people have to think that way.
I'm thinking, if you're screaming at me right now, everyone's going to know. If you just shut up, I'm going back to class.
Yeah, we're going to roll
I'm not
on.
going to talk about this ever again in my life.
Why would I? Yeah.
Right.
Why would,
But now that you're screaming at me,
now it's a core memory.
20 years from now, I'm going to talk about this on the podcast because it's about 20 years ago. 20 years from now, I'm going to talk about this on the podcast. Okay, bitch? And I hope you listen to it,
Please do.
I was never mad at her. I understood, but I was like, damn. So, she was mad.
Yeah.
And visibly shaking.
God.
Yeah, or shaking. I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
And she was nice. She was a nice janitor until that day.
Damn.
And then, and I think she was nice after that. I
Well,
think
people's lives get ruined over that shit.
Yeah, but Benny Clyde's not going to get you in trouble.
Right. Well, she
my
don't know.
my family's not going to get you in trouble.
You're just
We're not
another
gonna-
kid to her, though. You know what I mean?
Right.
She don't know who you are.
Right. I caught my teacher and my gym teacher making out in class. Or not in class, in the hallway.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I ain't going to get you in trouble.
That's
you know?
crazy.
Just 20 years from now, I want you to give me some kissing too. You know what I mean? Well, she was a very pretty lady.
That's funny. When I got this deal at Starbucks earlier, that lady, I was telling her, I gotta do a podcast. I gotta stay awake. I need something with a lot of caffeine. Oh, really? What's your podcast called? She's making my shit, making small talk or whatever she's making it. What's your podcast
She
called?
forgot it as soon as you told her.
And I said, I don't drink coffee podcast. And she goes, because she's making my coffee, And I go, don't worry.
That's awesome.
I said, don't worry. We both drink coffee. So it's
Obviously.
it's just what we
Here
call
we
it.
are.
Yeah.
Or here you are.
And she did. She just stopped and looked straight up at me. I bet she remembers after, because she asked me right before I walked out too. She goes, "What was the name of it again?" So I told her again. But yeah. I told you. Okay, when I was in the deal with the vasectomy, the female doctor that was in there asked me. I said something about it's going to make a good story for the podcast, and she goes, "Oh, you do a podcast?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "What's it called?" So I told her. She goes, "You watch any other ones or anything?" I was like, not really. I like some podcasts, but I do the normal one. I said, I'm like a Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn guy. It's pretty much the ones that I pay attention to the most. And she goes, I'll have to remember that. I don't drink coffee. That'll be an easy one to remember. So hopefully she checks it out.
She may not. I would if I were her, at least just to hear the story. Because you told her you're going to talk about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, and some weird side of me wants to go, what you think of my balls?
Well,
not sexually. I mean, I sometimes,
yeah, her.
in relation to the other balls you see, where am I at here?
I was thinking about the problem.
Oh, well, I mean, that's
Or the lack
obviously-
thereof.
That's some sort of an anomaly. I'm sure. That
Yeah,
they
but
still talk
they're
about
still
it.
thinking about it.
They're like, we had a guy in there.
Like they're never going to forget your balls.
It's never happened.
Right.
This guy, and he's the only one that does it for the Choctaws in like states.
So they're never going to forget your balls.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Hey man, if you got to have a set
Do
of
you like
balls
that
to
idea?
not forget, it might as well be mine. You know what I'm saying? I
agree.
mean, I mean, if I got to have memorable balls, hey, so be it.
I wonder if they took
I'll bear that
pictures.
cross. I didn't see any of that. I'm the only one who had my phone out. Because I had my phone out the whole time. I was
Yeah,
like,
but are you watching down there?
No.
You think he was like, so what's your podcast about?
hey, all I'm saying is cut me in if you make money. That's all I'm saying.
Well, maybe he was wanting to research it more.
I'm down with that. Whatever. I'm not.
I I would think that'd be worth some money, right?
Image and
If
likeness,
you're-
at least. You know what I'm saying?
If you are a medical anomaly, I would think that'd be worth some money.
Well, if they contact me, then I'll hit them up and be like, hey,
Gather
man,
round.
yeah, if you want to see a guy with one vas deferens, then here he is.
So there's two of them
normally.
But
there's others out there, 0.6% of the population.
And that's, of millions of people.
Of course. Well, this guy says he's done hundreds of thousands of them.
Damn.
Done 3 a week for 25 years, bro. You know what I mean? He said, I've done thousands of them. And I've never seen this. Yeah. He is the guy, bro. He's the only one that does them.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy.
So if you've had a vasectomy from the Choctaw Nation in the last how many ever years, he's the one that done it. He's a nice guy too.
Is
Very
he?
nice. Very thoughtful for trying to figure it out. Yeah. Yeah, he wanted to know what the hell. Because he don't get beat. I said, hey, dude, I know you didn't plan on getting beat by my balls today, but it did happen.
Well, maybe he only got paid half.
Well, that's what I'm wondering about the letter. You know, what's that going to mean? Does that mean like a reprimand?
You're not even Choctaw, but you get to go to the Choctaw because you're Indian?
Yeah.
And what do they do? Build the...
Well, it depends on what you're having
Or is
done.
it just a government type thing and that they...
Well, there's only... See, they've got an Indian Health Service that covers all tribes, right?
Because if you're costing my tribe any money, I don't appreciate it.
Well, I'm sure they bill it out. I'm sure there's some way to push that around. Because I have Blue Cross Blue Shield that also kicks in.
I'll check into that.
You know, and that's what I mean about
If my co-host costing my tribe money,
my insurance cost. Hey,
what can we do about
your
this?
co-host was born in the old Tallahassee Hospital.
Really?
Yes.
You were born there?
Yes.
But you didn't even grow up here or around here.
My mom was from here. She's from Wilburton originally.
And then she moved?
Mm-hmm.
So you did live in Wilburton initially?
Well, we lived in over where my mom and dad lived. Like, my mom and dad brought me home from the hospital. You drive by the house that they brought me home from the hospital in to go to my mom and dad's house right now.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, my mom was from Wilburton. My dad was from Quentin, and they were introduced. I think one of my mom's friends was dating a guy that my dad knew or something like that, and they introduced him. And
I spent a lot of time in that damn hospital, that old hospital. You ever go back there? Did you ever go back there as a kid?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dude.
So you know about the old hospital.
Hell yeah. Yeah, dude. The courtyard thing in the middle, the open part in the middle and all that. Yeah.
I was going to say, they're doing a haunted house here at the, oh my gosh.
Oh, the Scottish Rite building?
Yes, the Scottish Rite building in McAllister. And I was going to say, because I posted in the group,
if they really want to scare the shit out of
that it was the scariest building, but I was going to say scariest building in like Southeast Oklahoma. But then you think about that old hospital.
Dude, that fucking thing is, when I worked at the Veterans Center, and it's right down there by it,
Mm-hmm.
it's even scarier, bruh. It fucking looks terrifying.